Pardon Perry troubling, saying the jury's verdict should stand. China has completed 3 days of war games near Taiwan as tensions continue to rise between the communist-governed mainland and the democratically self-governed island.
China is out to demonstrate to the world that they are practiced and ready to move in on Taiwan if they so choose. We've seen it before. Today, an aircraft carrier was used to launch warplanes, with China calling this a rehearsal in, quote, sealing off the island. This comes in response to Taiwan's president meeting with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy in the U.S. last week. Lawmakers have been working to harden Taiwan in the event of an attack by China, which claims the self-governing democracy as its own.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff. The Justice Department filing for an emergency stay of a Texas federal judge's ruling that suspended FDA approval of the abortion pill mifepristone. The drug was approved over 20 years ago. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What police were doing on the west side, 69 degrees and sunny in downtown Indianapolis. You've got a clear radar and a low of 44 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. A man was shot and killed in Indianapolis Monday morning.
And so far, the cops don't have much to go on. I'm Donnie Burgess. The man's body was found in the area of King Avenue near 10th Street. He was already dead by the time Indy Metro Police arrived. No word on any suspects, and that's where you can help police. If you know anything, call IMPD or Crime Stoppers. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Someone else was found shot at a motel on the south side around 6 this morning. IMPD says it happened at a Super 8 motel on Bixler Road, just off US 31 and Thompson Road near 465. Officers say the man had been shot in the leg and hip and was sent to the hospital. They're still investigating. 5 people were arrested after a drug bust in Vigo County last Friday. Police say they found guns, LSD, 41 pounds of weed, 2 pounds of what officers said were magic mushrooms, and over 2 pounds of meth. They also found over $200,000 in cash. The 5 suspects face charges related to drug dealing and drug possession. The package says green, sweet, and crisp, but it might also read contaminated. Chris Davis reports.
The voluntary recall is for Revolutionary Farms lettuce. It's made in Michigan, north of Indiana, but some of it was sold in Indiana. It's the green, sweet, crisp variety. So if you have that in your refrigerator, you might want to throw it away. The contamination is from listeria, and that can cause high fever, stiffness, nausea, and the big one, diarrhea. So it could really mess you up. And it could be even worse for children. The sell-by date is April 5th. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
If you were hit by storms last week, state agencies are there to help, says Joel Thacker, head of Indiana's Department of Homeland Security.
Really looking at this individual assistance. So coming in and providing housing, looking at housing needs, looking at workforce development needs, child care needs.
Talking to Wish TV, Thacker says the state is focused on people who didn't have enough insurance and on getting people into housing. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Hey, Mom. Hi, honey. Mom, I'm glad you figured out the video call. What's all that noise? Is it your connection?
No, just doing a few things to the house. Your room will soon be a fitness studio.
My room? What? Well, what's that noise? Is that your Wi-Fi?
Oh, that. Your father's taken up the electric guitar. We're remodeling the basement for his jam sessions.
Jam sessions? Mom, are you guys okay? That's a lot of changes.
I'm just making some upgrades, and it's the home equity line of credit from Lake City Bank. The low fixed rate is helping us get things checked off our list. Oh, hon, gotta go. The hot tub is here.
The what? Mom?
Use Lake City Bank's home equity line of credit for anything from remodels to guitar lessons. Learn more at lakecitybank.com. Call 888-522-2265 or visit a branch near you. Subject to credit approval and equal housing lender.
With traffic at 3:05, here's Alan Green.
Harrison, there's an injury accident with entrapment on East 86th Street. This is east of Castle Creek Parkway. 465 eastbound taps the brakes from Ditch to Meridian. Eastbound 465 also slows a bit from White River to Harding. 69 southbound tight from 96 to 82nd. This report brought to you by Dell Technologies. Dell Technologies provides growing businesses with the tools to do incredible things. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, mostly clear, low temperature to 40 degrees. Tomorrow, temperature climb continues, mostly sunny with a high temperature of 68 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Nigel. Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
Jason Hammer's right over there. My name is Nigel. Yeah, this shooting at the Old National Bank in Louisville this morning. Tragic. 4 innocent people killed, 8 wounded, 2 police officers wounded, and the shooter, Hammer, is also dead. Don't know a ton of details. We do know it was a lone shooter, is a male, around 25 years old.
Correct.
Yeah.
And according to the police, they held a press conference earlier today, and they're going to be having more press conferences throughout the day. This was someone who had an affiliation with the bank. They don't know if he was a current employee or a past employee. The lone shooter identified by police as someone who used he, him pronouns on his LinkedIn account. That was still up as of about an hour ago. Again, the policy on this show is we're not going to say the name. Police know who it is. Gunman has been identified. That's all that we know. There was an active LinkedIn account, and there are some high-profile blue check marks that claim that this shooter had reached out to a friend before the shooting saying that he was going to do it. Don't know if that's confirmed or not. We're waiting for more updates from the police.
I mean, if that's the case, whoever the shooter reached out to, and if they didn't say or do anything, that's a huge problem.
Or maybe it's a situation, and again, we can't stress this enough. We don't know. Maybe it's a situation where there wasn't time to react. Like if somebody were to text you, Nige, I'm getting ready to walk into Qdoba and open fire. Yeah. Like it's right across the street. What can you do about it? Earlier today, this is the chief of police in Louisville, Paul Humphrey.
At least 2 officers were shot during this exchange of gunfire. 1 is currently in surgery at University of Louisville Hospital. At least 4 more victims were confirmed to be deceased inside the location, as well as 8 that are now currently being treated at the University Hospital. 2 are critical, one of those being the officer. We're currently working to identify all of the victims, work with their families for reunification, and provide services to the families and the victims.
And again, this information could change throughout the day, but we'll keep you covered here at 93 WIBC. The governor of Kentucky, Andy Beshear.
Oh, man, he was shedding some tears. I saw that press conference.
This was really emotional listening to him speak.
This is awful. I have a very close friend that didn't make it today. And I have another close friend who didn't either, and one who's at the hospital that I hope is going to make it through. So when we talk about praying, I hope people will. For those that we are hoping can make it through the surgeries that they're going through, and then we've got to do what we have done these last 3 years after everything. We've got to wrap our arms around these families.
Just horrific scene and carnage in Louisville.
Well, I'm glad at least that the Democrat governor said we need prayers, because usually when you see thoughts and prayers, it's screw your thoughts and prayers.
Right.
We need action.
You get a lot of those people, right?
Yeah. Anybody that says screw your thoughts and prayers really ought to. They're saying that because they're following their own narrative. They've got an agenda to push when you hear that.
There's a really chilling video making its way around, and I debated about whether or not we should share it with you, but I think there's a positive message to it. So what you're about to hear is live audio of the gunman inside of this bank, but you're also going to hear a brave police officer running out to the street by the bank, yelling at everybody in their vehicles, stop, get out, run, active shooter, active shooter. So people were stopped at like a stoplight right there by the bank in downtown Louisville, and you see this police officer just running out to the street telling everybody, active shooter, active shooter. Listen, I don't know how you would have reacted in a situation like that, right? How would you react if you're at a stoplight, right? And you're just going about your business. Maybe you're going to get breakfast. Maybe you've got a meeting. You're going to work, whatever. And you see a police officer running out in the middle of the street by a stoplight yelling, active shooter, active shooter.
I wouldn't know what to think.
Do you get out of your car? Do you run?
Speed off.
Speed off. Do you go somewhere else? But good for that police officer.
And the
for letting him
police
know.
were there within minutes. So heroes, for sure. They took out the shooter. Actually, it's not clear whether the shooter took his own life or police did.
Right. And we're hoping to get that information a little bit later on in the afternoon. Joe Biden put out a tweet. President Biden, quote, once again, our nation mourns after a senseless act of gun violence. Jill and I pray for the lives lost and impacted by today's shooting. Too many Americans are paying the price of inaction with their lives. When will Republicans in Congress act to protect our communities?
Wow. Standing on the bodies of the slain, those victims in Louisville, is your president of the United States saying it's the Republicans' fault. That is sickening.
And again, let me just say, I don't know the background of the gunman. All we have to go by is a LinkedIn account, but there were the pronouns on there. Now, I don't believe this was somebody that was trans or whatever, but more often than not, let's be honest here. Let's have a real conversation. If you're using pronouns, you're probably not somebody that's a conservative, right? I think that's pretty fair to say. So how many liberal lunatics have to commit crazy acts of violence for Joe Biden to realize that maybe it's not the gun's fault?
Or Republicans' fault,
right?
For that matter. I can't believe he politicized this so soon. Wow.
And the thing is, he didn't tweet that himself. There's no way he tweeted that himself. So whoever is the acting president of the United States, whoever's pretending to be Joe Biden, wrote this out, put that out on his Twitter, and it's disgusting. The shooting itself is disgusting, but at this time that the tweet came out, you didn't even know what the death count was, and you were blaming Republicans for it. You knew nothing of the shooter. You know nothing of a motive, but you're blaming Republicans for it. How many members of the NRA have committed a mass shooting compared to how many lunatic leftists have committed a mass shooting? Let me know when you work on that, Joe Biden, then you can get back with us. Taiwan, Nige, sounding alarms over Chinese military drills that they say could, quote, mistakenly spark an uncontrollable war. So more good news coming on a Monday. Taiwan concerned that if one of these drills China is doing somehow gets a little squirrely or they don't execute it properly, they're going to hit Taiwan. Next thing you know, we're playing the feud.
You see the French President Macron over there grab-assing with President Xi in China past couple days?
Yes.
And then he talked about the Macron basically took his Chinese talking points after the conference, talking about reducing Europe's reliance on America, both military and economically. Also said Europe needs to reduce its dependence on the U.S. dollar. It's just like France, supposed to be one of our closest allies, championing the weakening of the U.S. dollar for international business. But call me crazy. Hey, speaking of Taiwan, look, I'd love to see the European Union step up to the plate and pay its own way militarily and economically. You guys handle China and Taiwan. Leave us out of it.
So the question now becomes, if China decides to move in on Taiwan, Taiwan is actually an ally of the United States, unlike Ukraine. Does the United States also fund that war? Does the United States get involved in that kind of war? This was an interesting discussion that they had on Fox earlier this morning, and retired Navy SEAL Michael Sorrell had this to say.
You see China pretty much maneuvering right now to make as many strategic partnerships as possible. We should be doing the same. And it starts with Taiwan. I think at the end of the day, we need to make an invasion on Taiwan so unattractive and so costly to China that they wouldn't think twice about it. One, it's strategic partnerships. So forward projection of forces is not out of the question. That definitely would escalate the situation with China and the rhetoric with China. But another approach is the Ukraine. Whether you think we should have been involved in the Ukraine or not, I think that discussion's done. Look at it as an opportunity. With Ukraine, we want to make that, again, a war of attrition as costly as possible because we know our will is stronger than the Chinese and Russian militaries and governments combined.
Look, I'm all for the European Union. If they want to emerge as the new big global superpower and be on the same level as the United States and China and Russia, you guys deal with it, Macron. You want your independence from America? You don't want to be reliant on the United States? Thumbs up to that. You go deal with it.
I do think there's another story in play, though. China smells weakness with the United States. So they know now is the time. We're going to go speak to France. We're going to go speak to Russia. We're going to do all these things. We're going to get as many allies as I can. And then we're all going to see what we can get away with until Captain Underpants gets out of office here in the White House. All right, Alan Green's in for Matt Baer.
All right, on 86, the east of Castle Creek Parkway, an injury accident. 465 eastbound slows from Ditch to Meridian. Eastbound 465 also tight White River to Harding. And 69 southbound, some brake lights from 96 to 82nd. This report brought to you by Drexel Interiors. Drexel Interiors warehouse sale has tens of thousands in inventory, including flooring at 50 cents a square foot, cabinets, vanities, and more. Thursday through Saturday only, 3217 Shadeland Avenue. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
As a matter of fact, they're doing a press conference now in Louisville, so if we get any updated information, we will pass that on to you. 70 degrees at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
Start your week with some fun. WIBC's First Day, Sunday, 10 o'clock to noon, brought to you by Greg Cooper and Lisa Phillips with Crossroads Collective at Compass Real Estate.
Your neighbor Mark loves spring in Indy, but he hates to paint. So he called Rhino Shield.
It's a two-story home built in 1992. Around 2001, looking at needing to paint, I heard a radio ad, with Rhino Shield, you won't have to paint again for another 25 years.
That's because Rhino Shield's not paint. It's better.
They're very professional. We had everything done. Everything that would typically be painted on a house was done, and it was very fast.
All right, Indy, get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 15% off the regular price.
It was done in 2001 and still going strong. From what I've seen on our home, they can easily offer a 25-year guarantee and not worry about it.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Don't paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Dr. Trudy Fleer here with the 5G Home Recovery Podcast. Let's talk about mobile users getting priority over T-Mobile home internet users, shall we? You don't know them. Why should they take your internet? I get it. We're raised to share, but always coming in second, paying to be taken advantage of? No thank you. With Xfinity, there's only one priority, and that is YOU. So come on, people, say yes to Xfinity. Learn more at xfinity.com/TMOFax.
Now through April 23rd, new customers can get started with 200 megabit per second Xfinity Internet with Wi-Fi equipment included. It's all just $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract. Or learn more about speeds up to a gig. That's up to 36 times faster than T-Mobile home internet. Go to xfinity.com/TMOFax, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular internet rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
The Voice of Health Minute with Dr. Robert Prather of Holistic Integration.
Acupuncture for anxiety is the best thing that you can possibly do. A young man had some health issues. Nobody can figure out what's going on. They heard about me, that we can usually diagnose what's happening better than anybody else. And they said, well, can he get some relief today? He's anxious. He's depressed. As soon as we did that, his mom asked him, are you feeling better? He said, yes, I am. Just acupuncture.
And they had been to Cleveland, Mayo,
John Hopkins, Riley, every place. Chiropractic, getting the Alicet. Football players with head trauma, they're finding extreme help through the Alice Orthogonal program. So all the football players who have the head trauma and the personality changes that occur, they are getting their Alicet and actually getting it fixed. Also, especially the B vitamins are very important for mental health and for nerve function.
The Voice of Health with Dr. Robert Prather, Sundays at 8 p.m. or anytime at thevoiceofhealthradio.com.
Hubler has all the top brands: Chevy, Buick, GMC, Ford, Acura, Honda, Mazda, Nissan, and more. And every new vehicle includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Looking to sell your vehicle? We'll pay you top dollar, even if you don't buy ours. Take it from Brooke Hubler.
You can get a car anywhere, but you can only get a warranty like this at Hubler. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Visit drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Warranty available on new vehicles except certain models, not transferable or available on leases. Copy of the warranty is available for review at the dealership.
It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity during tax season because so much sensitive info is all together.
Before we start the annual meeting of Sean's personal info, has anyone seen Social Security number?
Not me.
Nope. Nuh-uh. Oh, no. He's been stolen.
LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, we'll work to fix it. No one can monitor all transactions, but you can save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
Your home is your sanctuary, and the first step to peace of mind is controlling your power with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator from the #1 Generac generator dealer, Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808.
Drexel Interiors warehouse sale has tens of thousands in inventory, including flooring at 50 cents a square foot, cabinets, vanities, and more. Thursday through Saturday only, 3217 Shadeland Avenue.
Nobody but about me. You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
John Rahm won the Masters golf tournament yesterday. I'm glad. I love John Rahm. Ever since he got screwed in 2021 at the Memorial, when he was leading, he was on his way to winning that thing, and they yanked him in the middle of a round because he had asymptomatic COVID. Like his test came back, and
that's right.
They go get him. He's tested positive. A bunch of healthy golfers outside, not around anybody. He's asymptomatic. I believe he had already had COVID at one point.
I had forgotten all about that.
And ever since then, I want him to shove it. I don't know where I want him to shove something. I know I want him to flip the middle finger to the PGA Tour and join LIV. Probably is what I wanted to do. And so he won yesterday. But then you remember, they yanked him out of the Memorial, and then he went back and won the U.S. Open a month later.
And he clearly is one of the best in the world,
yes.
But they cheated him out of another win, another mark on his resume.
Right, exactly. So he won. It was him and Brooks Koepka, who's kind of a meathead in the final pairing.
He's the LIV guy too, right?
Yeah, and he's kind of a whiner. He was leading going into that final round on Sunday. They had to play 28 holes because of weather, like a rain delay. So they had to finish up the third round Sunday morning, turn around, and play 18 more holes that day. And here's Brooks Koepka. Listen to this. Brooks Koepka slams what he calls a brutally slow golfer, Patrick Cantlay, after he lost his lead, the Masters lead, on the final day.
Brooks, you're a pretty fast player, as we know. Just curious your thoughts on the pace of play this afternoon.
Yeah, that group in front of us was brutally slow. I mean, John went to the bathroom like 7 times during the round, and we were still waiting. So.
Well, John Rahm didn't seem to have a problem with the slow play.
So you're the golfer here, because I don't play golf. Yeah. I don't know much about it. I'll get drunk on the course and drive the golf cart. I'll make some putts. That's about all I know with golf. Is slow play something that can really screw your game up?
It's frustrating as just a novice, when you're a civilian golfer and it's slow out on the course. It's frustrating. It's not fun waiting around, but you're a professional golfer. You're in the Masters. You just were besieged by inches and inches of rain for 3 days that you guys played through it, and Koepka still kept his lead. I think it was just, I think he got exhausted. I think he played multiple rounds in the same day, and he just kind of lost it. Guys like me and Rob would go on trips and play 36 holes in a day. They only had to play 28 yesterday. I bet he got gassed.
And they're professionals.
Yeah, exactly. So don't blame it on the slow play, especially since John Rahm didn't seem to have a problem with it. You were in the same group as he was, dude.
Another amazing feat of athleticism happened over the weekend.
Really?
A Swedish man has broken the world record by consecutively cracking 46 joints in his body. Would you like to hear some of it, Nige?
No.
I heard a yes.
Oh.
Oh.
I'm watching it now. He literally stood there in front of a microphone and cracked every knuckle, every joint in his neck. He started doing his back, cracked joints in his toes, and he got would you say the Guinness Book of World Records for that?
Yes.
How many?
46 joints in his body consecutively.
I know guys that have smoked 46 consecutive joints. I don't think I've known anybody that's done that, cracking 46 joints in their own body now.
Well, this amazing feat of skill and strength brings us to great moments in breaking records history.
Boy.
This was the guy that set the record for quickest basketball dribbles in 1 minute.
It's unbelievable. That's actually pretty cool.
Right? Put him in the G League at least. He's got some handles.
Yes!
Great moments in breaking records history. This kind of sounds similar to the basketball being dribbled. The guy that set the record for most fist bumps.
3, 2, 1, go. Stop.
Come on!
Yeah!
97 fist bumps in 30 seconds. However, 24 of them had to be disqualified because they didn't meet the fist bump qualification set by Guinness. New record, 273 fist bumps in 30 seconds. Come on.
And last, but certainly not least, it's one of our favorites here on the Hammer and Nigel
Which
show.
one?
The guy that set the record for biting aluminum cans in half.
Go.
Cans were all full too, weren't they?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Impressive.
Stop. In your attempt today, 36.
Now, one more time, Allison. Get ready to play that again. Close your eyes. Let's do a little theater of the mind here.
Okay.
Pretend like that's me sitting on the toilet after eating nothing but beef for 24 hours.
Go.
No! Stop! I can't take it.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
I don't like to walk downtown anymore. Only when I have to. Even during the day, there's so many out on the street, aggressive. I mean, I feel terrible for them, but at the same time, I don't feel safe. Every night, there's another story on the news. Another shooting, something violent. And it's not even in one area, it's all over the city. Just the other night, there was a shooting in a church parking lot. A church. I heard that so far this year, our murder rate is higher than Chicago. Chicago! I'm proud of Indianapolis. That's just not what I think of, what I think Indianapolis should be. The only thing I can think to do differently is I have to vote differently, starting now, until it gets better. So I'm going to vote for Shreve in May. Maybe Hogsett gets the message. Or maybe we get a new mayor in November.
Paid for by Shreve for mayor.
Only one real estate agent I'd trust to sell my house. That's Mark Deedle. Hey, look, maybe you're worried you missed the boat on selling for maximum price. Well, with Mark Deedle and his guarantee, your home's sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or he'll buy it himself. How about Brandy in Indianapolis? Had an investment property, needed to sell, but she was certain she'd missed a boat on top dollar. Mark Deedle had the home sold in 2 days. Top dollar, super easy. Brandy was very pleased.
If you listened the other day, you heard Mark Deedle come on our show, and this dude knows his stuff. He is amazing. He's the best in the business, and he's the only one that we recommend because of the guarantee. Mark Deedle guarantees he will sell your home or he'll buy it. That, my friends, is a guarantee. So call Mark Dietel today. 317-755-4232. That's 755-4232. Or go to markdietel.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Do you have a wet basement problem? Hi, I'm Mike Smith with Swenco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, Indy's most trusted basement waterproofer. Your basement is a very important part of your home. Whether it's finished or unfinished, there's nothing worse than a wet, unusable basement. Swenco's basement waterproofing will fix your wet, unusable basement permanently and forever. Protect your greatest asset, your home, by waterproofing your basement today. Call the real, local, family-owned waterproofing experts at Swenco Crawl Space and Basement Repair, 317-407-1868 or SwencoLLC.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A difficult day in Louisville. 70 degrees and sunny in downtown Indianapolis. A clear radar, too. Temperatures tonight supposed to drop into the mid-40s. I'm Harrison Silcox for Lake City Bank. Here's what's trending at 3:31. At least 5 people are dead, including the shooter, and 8 are hurt after a shooting at a Louisville bank this morning. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear called the shooting awful. He says he knew some of the victims.
I have a very close friend that didn't make it today. And I have another close friend who didn't either, and one who's at the hospital that I hope is going to make it through.
Police believe the shooter may be a current or former employee of the bank. The White House says they're praying for the victims in Kentucky.
The president and the first lady are praying for those killed and injured in the tragic shooting in Louisville and for the survivors who will carry the trauma for the rest of their lives.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, who once again called on Congress to pass more legislation that would ban assault weapons and increase background checks for gun purchases. 3 suspects decided to leave their guns behind when IMPD chased them down. Jaden Arnold reports.
Last week, Thursday, police chased a car in Indianapolis after a reported theft. The driver didn't stop, though, leading to a chase that crossed county lines. The car crashed into a tree, and 3 of the 4 who fled the scene were caught. During the chase, one of them dropped a backpack with 4 guns, one of which was an illegal machine gun. Police also found a gun in the crashed car and bullets in the apartment where the chase began. Jaden Arnold, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Richmond is a small town making big moves, says Gary Dick with Inside Indiana Business.
Blue Buffalo was a premium pet food company, built a $200 million factory there, just announced another $200 million will go into an expansion and adding jobs.
And that's on top of a proposed $40 million apartment investment in downtown Richmond. Dick tells WIBC's Tony Katz that the town is also banking on I-70 improvements, which would bring in more people and more business. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:33.
One of the best things that has happened here in Indianapolis is the arrival of QC Kinetics. They're amazing. Regenerative medicine treatments have helped so many people get lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. Tony Katz here, and the demand for QC Kinetics treatments is so strong, they are opening another clinic in Carmel while continuing to treat in Eagle Creek and Greenwood. QC Kinetics, they're the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, utilizing a modern-day approach to deal with chronic joint pain. It's an all-natural process that uses healing properties from your own body to restore and repair damaged tissue in your joints so you can get your life back without that chronic pain and without surgery or drugs. You've been hearing about it, so stop putting it off. If you have arthritic pain or pain from an injury, do what so many already have done. Call QC Kinetics. It's a free consultation. Call QC Kinetics now. 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN. In Eagle Creek, Greenwood, and now in Carmel. 317-559-PAIN.
With traffic at 3:34, here's Alan Green.
Thanks, Harrison. 465 southbound slows from 70 to Brookville. Eastbound 465 delays Ditch to Meridian. Little backup on 465 eastbound White River to Harding. And 69 southbound slow from 96 to 465. This report brought to you by Drexel Interiors. Shop Drexel Interiors for carpet and get free padding. Yes, buy carpet, get free padding. Only at Drexel Interiors. Visit Drexel in Carmel or on North Shadeland. Find Drexel at drexelin.com. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, mostly clear, low temperature to 40 degrees. Tomorrow, temperature climb continues, mostly sunny with a high temperature of 68 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
The only way to bag a classy lady is to give her 2 tickets to the gun show.
It's Monday Gun Day with the gun guy.
Just watch out for the guns. They'll get you.
Guy Relford.
Stop calling your arms guns.
Hammer and Nigel show.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer, right over there. Also joining us live in studio, Second Amendment attorney and licensed firearms instructor, Guy Relford, host of the Gun Guy Show Saturdays here on 93 WIBC. Guy, how are you?
Man, I'm great. And thanks as always to our sponsor, Fort Liberty Firearms in Avon, 8401 East Highway 36. Great place to buy firearms, ammunition, or accessories. Check out my buddies at the Fort at fortlibertyfirearms.com.
We'll start with what happened in Louisville, this shooting at a bank. 4 people are dead, and Joe Biden is already blaming Republicans for what happened. He tweeted out, basically he tweeted out condolences for the victims, and then he went on to say, too many Americans are paying for the price of inaction with their lives. When will Republicans in Congress act to protect our communities?
Yeah.
I mean, that left me speechless. You don't know damn well anything about the shooting, who was involved, what the politics were of the guy that did it. Was he a crazy mental case nutbag? The answer is probably yes. What kind of gun was used? And you blame Republicans. You're standing on the victims of this shooting and blaming Republicans for this.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to you guys on the way down here, and your reaction, I thought, Jason, was perfect. What you said is disgusting. It's disgusting for a number of reasons. First of all, let's flip that coin over. When a hero like Eli Dicken in the Greenwood Park Mall steps up and saves countless lives,
sure,
do we hear from the president and go, thank God that we have the NRA out there protecting gun rights because that someone legally carrying a gun in Indiana stepped up and saved countless lives in the Greenwood Park Mall? Or do we do we give credit to the gun itself? Do we say, wow, a hero like Eli Dicken in the Greenwood Park Mall saved lives with a Glock 19. Thank you, Glock. Yeah. Glock. This gun in and of itself saved lives today. Of course we don't do that. We look at the individual. And we say Eli Dicken did what Eli Dicken did, and he's a hero as an individual. So why don't we do the same treatment? Why don't we react the same way when an evil person does evil things? Why don't we turn around and say, that person is responsible. They are an evil person who did evil things, and we got to focus on the individual. We got to focus on their motivation. We got to focus on their mental health. And all we do is turn around and say, "Oh no, it's Republicans and the NRA's fault." Gun rights advocates like me. I have people tweet at me all the time. There's blood on your hands. Really? Well, you must be giving me credit then when someone goes out and saves lives like Eli Dicken did. And look. Not just Eli Dicken. Just look at people I've represented right here in central Indiana. The hero from the Brownsburg shooting who saved unbelievable number of lives when somebody was suffering a mental health breakdown. Christy Janin, who saved a police officer's life with a gun. Elijah Elliott in the Kroger at 71st and Shadeland.
How many NRA members, Guy, have been responsible for mass shootings?
That's my point. And so, we don't give Republicans or conservatives or gun rights advocates credit when we save lives. So why are we suddenly the villains when some evil person, and invariably, I'm sorry, more often than not, a liberal, goes out and murders people? Why do we want to turn around and blame Republicans or blame conservatives? It's ridiculous and it's sickening, and I'm tired of hearing it.
So the NRA convention is about to come to Indianapolis. Coming this weekend, Donald Trump scheduled to appear with his legal situation. I believe it's still the case, though. Donald Trump, Mike Pence, Kristi Noem, Jim Jordan of Ohio. There's going to be a lot of attention here on Central Indy, especially after what's gone on in Nashville and Louisville. And the protesters are already starting to get a little squirrely. I think it was Nigel that sent me a screenshot that said the Occupy Indianapolis people, Occupy Indy, they're ready to, quote, make some noise here.
Yeah, well,
no, you sent us that text. You sent us the screenshot of the tweet.
Yeah,
that said,
it was
start some trouble.
Yeah, exactly. Hashtag Occupy Indy NRA, and this idiot out there who has 71 followers on Twitter, right? So I was disappointed actually that people started retweeting it and commenting. I just screenshotted it because I wasn't going to give the guy any attention. But since now, I mean, he's got thousands of views on this thing. But he said, yeah, it might be a good time to start some hashtag good trouble in Indianapolis during the NRA annual meeting. And,
what does that mean, good trouble?
Good trouble. Well, you know what good trouble is. Good trouble is what just happened to the swimmer at San Francisco State University. Good trouble is what they call the Summer of Love in 2020. That's what they call good trouble. That's
mostly peaceful activity.
Yeah.
Mostly being the key word.
We know what good trouble is. I mean, that's what Antifa and Black Lives Matter, that's what they stand for. So, look, I mean, there's going to be 80,000, maybe 90,000 law-abiding armed citizens within the mile square, and you want to start some good trouble. And look, that doesn't mean anybody's going to shoot anybody. You just want to, get in somebody's face. I don't know. I mean, if I had to guess, the attendees at what national conference, maybe something to do with the WWE or something. But beyond that, I mean, NRA members, knock your ass out.
I remember the NRA convention you and I broadcast from in 2019 down here.
I was on your broadcast.
You come and hung out with us. I remember there was talk leading up to this that there's going to be a bunch of protests, but it ended up being pretty muted.
Right. There were a few people with signs and a few chants outside, but it certainly wasn't anything like the Summer of Love or the bastard offspring that's represented.
Well, my favorite was the Moms Demand Action people. They had like 12 people, and they kept trying to stage it and take pictures that looked like it was 1,200.
Right.
But literally, it was like 12 people. But my favorite was where they had a sign when were carrying these signs around that said "More guns, more crime." And I was laughing because I thought, you know what? We have more guns within the mile square of downtown Indianapolis right now than we ever do historically. There's 80,000 guns right now, right in downtown Indianapolis, and it's the only weekend we ever see in Indianapolis where there's absolutely no crime.
It was so safe that weekend. It was perfect that
I talked
weekend.
to IMPD afterward, and I said, how many shootings do you have in Indianapolis Friday, Saturday, Sunday? 0. When's the last time you had 0 shootings in Indianapolis for 3 straight days over a weekend? None that I recall, except the last NRA annual meeting.
And it just goes to show what these lunatics that try to intimidate you are all about. If they think there's a chance you're going to fight back, they don't want the smoke. They don't want the heat. But it's easy for them to barge into a state house or go up and down the street or go through a predominantly white neighborhood because they feel like those people might be on the shy side or the cowardice side. You get 90,000 gun-toting Americans that know what their rights are. I don't think you're going to see a few problems. I don't think you're going to see many problems.
No, I responded to the guy. Like I said, I didn't want to retweet it. I don't want to give him any more attention. I just responded with hashtag FAFO, and I think you guys know what that stands for.
Can you stick around for one more break?
Absolutely.
Because there's a couple high-profile things we need to get your opinion on. The pardon that the governor in Texas is about to give somebody, and then if we have time, there's some action here in Hamilton County. So we got Guy Relford with us. It's the gun guy. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Have you noticed that most ice creams now come in smaller cartons? Not Bluebell. We're still making a full half-gallon and a full pint of tasty goodness. Bluebell wouldn't have it any other way.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at Walmart Supercenters and Walmart Neighborhood Markets.
Guys, you got to make your health a priority. So, and I know there's a lot of people talking about testosterone right now, but you got to do your research and your homework. Be sure to go somewhere where you can trust. I recommend the Low T Center. Low T Center exclusively specializes in men's wellness, and they check all your levels, not just your testosterone.
At the Low T Center, their annual health assessment usually covered by health insurance. And worst case scenario, it's around $100 cash pay. But make the time to take care of yourselves. And the Low T Center really is your one-stop shop for all things men's health. They can check your prostate levels, thyroid issues, liver, kidney functions, cholesterol, glucose levels, and more. Set up a time now to meet with one of the experts at the Low T Center. Take care of your health, guys. LowTCenter.com. Book that appointment. LowTCenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hey, Mom. Hi, honey. Mom, I'm glad you figured out the video call. What's all that noise? Is it your connection?
No, just doing a few things to the house. Your room will soon be a fitness studio.
My room? What? Well, what's that noise? Is that your Wi-Fi?
Oh, that. Your father's taken up the electric guitar. We're remodeling the basement for his jam sessions.
Jam sessions? Mom, are you guys okay? That's a lot of changes.
I'm just making some upgrades, and it's the home equity line of credit from Lake City Bank. The low fixed rate is helping us get things checked off our list. Oh, hon, gotta go. The hot tub is here.
The what? Mom?
Use Lake City Bank's home equity line of credit for anything from remodels to guitar lessons. Learn more at lakecitybank.com. Call 888-522-2265 or visit a branch near you. Subject to credit approval and equal housing lender.
Healthcare.gov is here for you when life happens. If you lost your health coverage because of turning 26, going off Medicaid, leaving your job, or moving, you could be eligible to enroll in new coverage now. And if you need to update your coverage because of marriage or having a baby, you could also be eligible. But don't wait. There's a limited time to enroll. Check your eligibility at healthcare.gov today. Life happens. Get covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hubler makes it easy to get your perfect car or truck. Get your vehicle your way. They'll help you pre-order a vehicle built just for you. Visit drivehubler.com.
Drexel Interiors warehouse sale has tens of thousands in inventory, including flooring at 50 cents a square foot, cabinets, vanities, and more. Thursday through Saturday only, 3217 Shadeland Avenue.
Join WIBC and Shepherd Community Center as we partner with Gleaners to distribute food to the community the first and third Friday of every month. For more information, head over to WIBC.com.
Alan Green is filling in for Matt Baer. He's got to look at the roads.
Guys, 465 southbound is tight now from 70 to Brookville. Eastbound 465 hits the brakes, ditch to Meridian. Eastbound also from Man to Harding is tight. And 69 southbound is slowing from 96 into 465. This report brought to you by Drexel Interiors. Drexel Interiors warehouse sale is tens of thousands in inventory, including flooring at 50 cents a square foot, cabinets, vanities, and more, Thursday through Saturday only, 3217 Shadeland Avenue. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
It's 70 degrees at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center here at 93 WIBC. Guy Relford with us, Monday Gun Day here on the Hammer and Nigel show. This story in Texas has got some layers to it.
Yeah.
So there was an Uber driver who happened to be a veteran, was driving. Next thing you know, there's a situation. So take me through the story, what we know, and the governor's response.
Yeah, this is fascinating. A guy named Daniel Perry, Uber driver, veteran, is in his car. He's in downtown Austin, and this is during the Summer of Love, as we talk about. And there's a big protest going on downtown Austin. And he sees the protest, and some of the evidence was he actually turned toward the protesters in his car. Then a guy approaches his car with an AK-47. And Daniel Perry said he was threatened by the gun. He testified, or some of the evidence was that the gun was pointed at him, the AK-47, so he drew his handgun and fired back, shot the guy 4 times and killed him. And a lot of people looked at that and said, well, of course, you can defend yourself, you can defend your vehicle against an armed attack, and it was the justified use of force in self-defense. But he got prosecuted for murder, and here this last week.
And this was a very liberal prosecutor.
Oh, yeah,
too.
it's Austin. I mean, I've spent a lot of time in Austin, but the last few years it's Texas, but it's Austin, and it's like it's like you took San Francisco and just kind of dropped it in the middle of Texas right about now. But yeah, very liberal prosecutor. They prosecuted him, and the jury found him guilty just last Thursday or Friday. And they scheduled sentencing. He hasn't been sentenced yet, but in the meantime, Governor Abbott is talking about pardoning him. Saying, no, this was a proper application of Texas's self-defense law and their stand your ground law in particular. But what's fascinating about this case, and I got into this a lot on my show, I spent almost my whole show talking about it. And then we also started talking about it in the context of potential protest at the NRA annual meeting here in Indy this year. But what I think really sank this guy and what got him convicted, and I hope that Governor Abbott does pardon him, but this is a great lesson for how you can post knuckleheaded things on Facebook or Twitter or wherever it is you are on social media that will get you convicted of a crime when you may not be guilty of a crime. This guy was out talking about protests, being angry about protests, talking about potentially shooting protesters. At one point he said, yeah, there's a protest going on pretty close to my place. I may have to shoot some protesters today. And this is before the actual shooting. And the jury heard all that. The jury heard all that because people say, well, wait a minute, how is that admissible? Well, under the rules of evidence, if the theory of the prosecution is that you went out looking for an opportunity to kill protesters, if that's part of their theory of the case, then you expressing exactly that thought and that intent on social media is directly relevant, and the jury's going to hear it. And this guy could have been acting completely in self-defense, but as soon as that jury, and this is going to be people who live in Austin who are probably going to be pretty liberal, considering it's Texas in particular, but they hear, I might have to shoot some protesters today, and then he shoots a protester.
But there's evidence the guy pointed the AK-47 right at him, though, right?
Well, there was, and there's a really bad video and some still photos out there. It's unclear on whether it was pointed at him. There were eyewitnesses, put quotes around that, eyewitnesses. Of course, they're protesters. So consider that for what it's worth. But they came in and said, oh, no, the gun was never pointed at Daniel Perry before he started shooting. The guy was just carrying it lawfully, which he's entitled to do in Texas. He was doing lawfully. So that was conflicting. You know, some people said, oh, yeah, he pointed it at him. Other people said he didn't. The jury's free to choose who they believe and who they don't.
Got a couple minutes left here with Guy Relford. I want to play a piece of audio for you. This is San Antonio Spurs head basketball coach Greg Popovich.
Right.
Super liberal, very woke, much like Steve Kerr. Always likes to put his politics out there, even when you didn't ask for it. This was his press conference after the Spurs wrapped up their season on Sunday.
Amendment to freedom. You know, it's a myth. It's a joke. It's just a game they play. I mean, that's freedom. Is it freedom for kids to go to school and try to socialize and try to learn and be scared to death that they might die that day? But Ted Cruz will fix it because he's going to double the number of cops in the schools. That's what he wants to do. Well, that'll create a great environment. Is that freedom?
So he says the Second Amendment is a myth because it doesn't create freedom.
Well, our founders apparently disagreed because they memorialized the Second Amendment right there in our Constitution within the Bill of Rights. Look, I have no problem with Greg Popovich expressing his opinion. That's why we have a First Amendment. And I respect his right to express whatever knuckleheaded opinion he wants to express. But what's ridiculous is if you notice, it's after the game, after the season has wrapped up, he's given his press conference, and how many cops do you think were standing right there in that room protecting Greg Popovich? And how many cops sit right around that bench at Spurs games with guns protecting Greg Popovich? And the idea that he's in there saying, well, that'd create a great environment like, say, you're provided at no expense to you, where people with guns are defending your safety every day, and you would deny that same safety, that same protection that you get at every game, you would deny that to our school children? Come on, wake up.
Here's what I want to have happen next year. When the Spurs come in to play the Pacers, I want to get a credential for Guy Relford. And I just want to have you set up shop with the Spurs, and whenever Pop does his pregame or postgame, by the way, and just let the good times roll.
Yeah, you know what? It would start with, I have a question. And it would get good from there.
If anybody has any questions or wants to continue a conversation, where can they go?
You know what? Twitter. I'm getting a lot more active on Twitter. I'd love to pick up a lot more followers. So it's at Guy Relford on Twitter. Go on there, give me a follow, and you can follow up right there online.
You're the best. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Business one tech solution that checks all the boxes. It's all here with the Comcast Business Complete Connectivity Solution. It's cyber threat security for peace of mind. Check. The power of the largest, fastest, reliable network for small business. That's a triple box check right there. And save up to 75% a year on your wireless bill with Comcast Business Mobile. Check and cha-ching. It's everything you need to keep your business connected. From the company powered by the next generation 10G network. The Complete Connectivity Solution. Get started for just $49 a month for 24 months when you add mobile. And ask about an $800 prepaid card. Comcast Business. Powering possibilities.
Ends 5/21/23. Restrictions apply. Requires 2-year agreement, EcoBill, and autopay. New 100 megabits per second internet and security edge customers only. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Compares weighted average of top 3 carriers. Taxes and fees extra. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data. Savings vary.
The NBA playoffs are here, and you can turn crossovers into cash with FanDuel. Just visit FanDuel.com/WIBC right now and place a $5 bet, and you'll get an instant $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. I think I'm taking Giannis and the Bucks. Going to put them in the finals for sure. And here's what I love about betting on FanDuel. They have those great promotions every day. It's safe and secure, and you get paid instantly when you win your money in your account just like that. And there's no better place to bet all the playoff action than America's #1 sports book. That's FanDuel.com/WIBC to sign up and get $150 in bonus bets when you bet your first $5. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of the NBA. 21 plus and present in Indiana. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first. And then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
It's the NRA annual meetings and exhibits at the Indiana Convention Center April 14th to 16th. 14 acres of the latest guns and gear. It's a freedom-filled weekend with activities for the entire family. NRA members and their family get in free. If you're not a member, join at nraam.org.
Shop Drexel Interiors for carpet and get free padding. Yes, buy carpet, get free padding. Only at Drexel Interiors. Visit Drexel in Carmel or on North Shaylin. Find Drexel at drexel-in.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
Hubler has all the top brands: Chevy, Buick, GMC, Ford, Acura, Honda, Mazda, Nissan, and more. And every new vehicle includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Looking to sell your vehicle? We'll pay you top dollar, even if you don't buy ours. Take it from Brooke Hubler.
You can get a car anywhere, but you can only get a warranty like this at Hubler. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Visit drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Warranty available on new vehicles except certain models, not transferable or available on leases. Copy of the warranty is available for review at the dealership.
Coming up in 2 minutes, 3 people arrested for theft last week. 1 suspect still on the run, and why hospitals in Indiana are still struggling for cash post-pandemic. All that and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You are listening to 93 WIBC. WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
New details about today's mass shooting. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. Investigators in Louisville, Kentucky say a 23-year-old used a rifle to kill 4 people and injure 9 others this morning at the city's Old National Bank where he worked.
The suspect shot at officers. We then returned fire and stopped that threat. The suspect is deceased.
Louisville Interim Police Chief Jacqueline Gwynn Villaroel. President Biden today tweeting that too many Americans are paying the price for inaction with their lives, again calling on congressional Republicans to act to protect communities. Former President Trump is appealing a court order requiring former Vice President Mike Pence testify in the special counsel's investigation into the January 6 Capitol violence. Last week, Pence said he would not appeal that ruling. The Justice Department is appealing a federal judge's ruling that overturned a decades-old FDA approval of an abortion pill.
Opposing rulings from 2 federal judges put the future of mifepristone in question. The abortion pill has been approved by the FDA for more than 20 years. A federal judge in Texas invalidated that approval, though put a hold on his ruling. Within hours, a second judge in Washington state prohibited the FDA from pulling the drug from shelves. The Biden administration has filed a notice of appeal to the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals seeking reversal of the Texas ruling. But since judges have issued conflicting rulings over the same abortion pill, it is possible to bypass lower courts and seek emergency action from the Supreme Court.
Fox's Jared Halpern in Washington. Stocks ending mixed after the long holiday weekend as investors weigh recession concerns and await new inflation data. The Dow up 100 points, the S&P gaining 4, the Nasdaq ending the day 3 points lower. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What they found after the chase: sunny, 70 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. Clear on your radar. Low temps down to 44 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:02. After a police chase, Indy Metro Police found a bag full of guns, and one of their suspects is still on the run. Jaden Arnold reports.
It all started when the police were called to an apartment on Brayburn North Drive near Franklin Way and East 21st Street. A gray car was believed to be involved, and when the police tried to stop that car, the driver refused, and a chase ensued. The car eventually crashed into a tree, though, and 4 people inside ran away. During the chase, one of them dropped a bag full of guns. Drones and canine officers searched for the suspects, and 2 were found hiding behind houses. A third was found in a storage shed, and the 4th suspect has not been found. Jaden Arnold, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
IMPD says someone was shot and killed around 4:30 this morning. Officers responded to King Avenue, where a man with gunshot wounds was found dead lying in an alley near 10th Street. Police are still looking for the suspect, and the victim has not been ID'd. 2 years post-pandemic, and hospitals are still struggling to stay in the black, while the Hoosiers are paying more for health care. Kurt Darling reports.
Hospitals in Indiana as a whole lost money last year, says Brian Tabor with the Indiana Hospital Association.
The healthcare system, I think, is still strained, increasing costs of labor, of drugs, and supplies.
And he tells Indy Politics that it also appears that lawmakers aren't helping their case either. Tabor saying that lawmakers are looking to pass a de facto cap on some hospital prices in order to lower healthcare costs, which he understands the premise behind, but he says it could severely impact the ability of hospitals to provide adequate care. Kirk Darling, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Richmond is a small town making big moves in Indiana, says Gary Dick with Inside Indiana Business.
Blue Buffalo was a premium pet food company, built a $200 million factory there, just announced another $200 million will go into an expansion and adding jobs.
And that's on top of a proposed $40 million apartment investment in downtown Richmond. Dick tells WIBC's Tony Katz that the town is also banking on I-70 improvements, which would bring in more people as well as even more business. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. Your time is 4:04.
Hi, this is Denny Smith. Over 17 years ago, I was aging in a way that was starting to scare me. I was eating too much and exercising too little, and I just didn't have time to commit to 3 hours a week in the gym. I'd heard about Exercise Inc. and their 20-minute-a-week workouts, but I just didn't believe it was possible to do any good. I was wrong, and I'm living proof. I used to be flabby and out of shape, but I'm not anymore because this regimen works. It's individualized and it's direct, and by golly, it feels great not to be aging the way I see others aging. I really am in the best shape of my life. My weight is under control. I feel strong, and I feel healthy. And listen, this is no kidding. It is hard work, but it's only 20 minutes a week. 17 years and counting, and you can do this too. And more importantly, you should do this. Pick up the phone and make the call for the free evaluation. 317-750-2219. 4 locations, Avon, Brownsburg, Greenwood, Zionsville, and coming soon in May to Fishers too. 317-750-2219 or go to exerciseinc.com.
With traffic at 4:05, here's Alan Green.
Thanks, Harrison. 465 eastbound near White River. A crash has a left lane blocked. That's got traffic stopped back from 70. 465 southbound slows from 70 to Brookville. Eastbound 465 between Ditch and Meridian, a backup. And an accident just reported on 67th at College. This report brought to you by Wendy's $3 breakfast deal. Get the Wendy's $3 breakfast deal. Choose either the bacon or sausage, egg, and Swiss croissant, plus a small seasoned potatoes for just $3. Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, mostly clear, low temperature to 40 degrees. Tomorrow, temperature climb continues, mostly sunny with a high temperature of 68 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it! My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there. A few more details on the shooting in Louisville this morning. Police identified the 23-year-old who opened fire at the Old National Bank in downtown Louisville. I'm not going to say his name, obviously, but he worked at the bank and was live streaming during the attack that left 4 innocent people dead and many more injured. Rifle was used during the attack, and it's not immediately clear whether he purchased it himself. But live streaming, that is something that even if drips and drabs or censored clips leak their way out on the internet, I will not be watching. That's
4
psycho.
innocent people have died along with the shooter. Now, we're not quite sure at this time how the gunman died. I really don't care how the gunman died, and we're not going to say his name, but I will say the names of the victims here because they need to be remembered. Joshua Barrick, 40 years old. Thomas Elliott, 63 years old. Juliana Farmer, 45 years old. James Tutt, 64 years old.
First reports of shots fired came in at 8:30. Police said that they returned fire and that stopped the threat. I'm just coming in now and looking at that.
There are 9 people still injured at this time, including a police officer who is in critical condition. So we will keep you updated with all of the information throughout the afternoon on our show, as well as throughout the evening with our newsroom here at WIBC. And Nigel, wasn't that long ago, just a couple weeks, I was down in the Louisville area. I know exactly the area that they're talking about here. They did a lot of the press conferences and press at that Louisville Slugger baseball field, and the Louisville Slugger Museum isn't that far away. Wow. I've been to that place a couple of times. Our baseball team went there just over a week ago. So if you've ever driven through Louisville, you probably know the area that we're talking about here. We've said that polling this time of year is kind of ridiculous. You can't get a good feel on anything this time of year, but for those of you who like polling, for those of you who feel like you can gain some sort of information from early numbers coming in, tell me if this moves the needle for you.
I get so fired up for polls! Woohoo!
What if it's the first primary state for Republicans, Iowa? We're talking about primaries here. Primary state, Iowa. It looks like Ron DeSantis is still polling better than Donald Trump, even after the uptick in popularity falling after his indictment and the arraignment.
Yeah. What do we got? What are we looking at here?
So Ron DeSantis in Iowa is up 10 percentage points from the last round as to where Donald Trump's only up 6. DeSantis at 48%, Donald Trump at 46%. Now, let's compare those two against Joe Biden, okay? Primary aside, let's view this as November 2024 general election. Donald Trump beats Joe Biden by 6 percentage points in Iowa. as to where Ron DeSantis beats Joe Biden by 10 percentage points in a general election.
Wow.
How about North Carolina? North Carolina is another key swing state. Joe Biden leading Donald Trump in a general election by 2 percentage points, 45% to 43%, as to where Ron DeSantis beating Joe Biden 44% to 41%. This polling was done by a group called Signal, and it was registered voters. Now, keep in mind that these are two important states, and for the Republicans, there's no pathway to 270 electoral votes without North Carolina unless you plan on flipping Arizona, Georgia, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania or Michigan. And let's be honest, that's probably not going to happen. So you have to have North Carolina, and the latest polling shows that Trump trails Joe Biden, but DeSantis has a very slim lead.
DeSantis better crap or get off the pot at this point. I'm thinking he might want to do something here before is all is said and done. It better be quick because Trump is coming after him pretty hard. And for DeSantis not to respond really or say anything, to the contrary, whatever kind of accusations and insults that he throws DeSantis's way, for him not to respond or say anything at all is really strange to me. And I think the longer he waits now, the harder it is going to be for him to get over that Trump hill, so to speak.
Or, and let me play a little devil's advocate here with you, maybe you ride this out as long as you can. You wait for Donald Trump to shoot himself in the foot, say something stupid, have another indictment, have another sort of legal back and forth.
And there will be more indictments, and he will say something stupid, and it won't matter. You know what I mean? This is the guy that said grab him by the hoo-ha, and got elected president when the other guy that laughed, Billy Bush, got fired.
He laughed at the joke and lost his job. Trump became the president.
Yeah, Trump doing something stupid, more indictments coming, whatever. It's just, I mean, look at, geez, I don't know, man. I think the Democrats want Trump to win.
I do too.
I think they want him to win because they think that he's beatable in a general election, and he may very well be. But DeSantis better... I don't know, man. I'm thinking he better do something here pretty quick.
I say wait this thing out, man.
Yeah.
Just sit back, crack open a cold one, prop your feet up on the desk, let him say all the things, because the Trump voters are not going to change their minds anyway. Let it all play out and then come in at the very end. Now, for those of you who are thinking Donald Trump is not popular anymore, let's pump the brakes on that. I don't care what this poll in North Carolina or Iowa has to say. Did you see the reaction that Donald Trump got at that UFC fight over the weekend?
Yeah.
This was unbelievable. Yeah,
right?
It was down in Miami, UFC 287. Now, granted, this is kind of his backyard. It was a home event, so to speak, down in Miami, Florida. But listen, I've got two clips here. I've kind of put them together. This is Donald Trump being announced the way you hear it on the broadcast, and then inside the arena, somebody recorded the crowd reacting when they saw him on the Jumbotron.
An Octagon side with us tonight, 45, President Donald Trump.
Jumbotron. Everybody stands up. He gives the fist pump. Wait for it. USA chant breaks out.
If I'm not mistaken, the guy that won the UFC championship started a "Let's Go Brandon" chant.
Masvidal. I don't know if he won or not. I think he actually may have got beat. I'm not sure. But
did he not win?
I don't think he won.
Well, Joe Rogan was talking to him.
Yeah, he was kind of the star. It was almost like his farewell match. He's going to retire.
Okay, well, yeah, when he started that "Let's Go Brandon" chant. I mean, the lineup sitting there at that UFC ringside, who was it? It was Donald Trump, it was Kid Rock, and Mike Tyson and Dana White, who is president of the UFC.
That's the Mount Rushmore of we're going to blow stuff up right there. We love fireworks. We love freedom. We love Florida.
What a lineup that was. Wow.
You know what we haven't done in a long, long time on this show, Nige? I don't even think Allison's ever heard this before. We've got a Bill Barr update. So I think...
The former Attorney General?
In order to honor the former Attorney General, we need the official Bill Barr music.
I love Bill Barr. For some reason, he became a huge celebrity when Donald Trump had named him Attorney General. Like he got out of that limo and was like signing chicks' breasts and stuff. It's like Bill Barr. I mean, who does he look like? Who do we say he looked like? It's just like an old
like
fat
if you
guy.
put John Candy, like with some glasses on John Candy, that's kind of who he looks like.
He turned into a celebrity under Trump.
Remember when he had the power move of just playing the bagpipes at that one event?
Yes.
He had the kilt and everything, man. He was doing some work. So the former Attorney General, Trump's Attorney General, says that Donald Trump could be in trouble, not because of what they're doing to him in New York. He thinks he's going to skate on that. But the classified document situation and Mar-a-Lago could produce some, quote, very good evidence that Donald Trump obstructed justice.
I'd be most concerned about the document case in Mar-a-Lago. When it first came out, a lot of Republicans manned the ramparts and were dumping all over the FBI and the government. And as the facts have come out, as I suggested when I spoke about it, the FBI was opposed to conducting the search. They weren't involved in launching the search. But also, those steps were taken after a long period, about a year and a half, of trying to get the documents from him, which he had no claim to. He had no claim to those documents, especially the classified documents. They belong to the government. I think he was jerking the government around, and they subpoenaed it, and they tried to jawbone him into delivery of the documents. But the government is investigating the extent to which games were played, and there was obstruction in keeping the documents from them. And I think that's a serious potential case. I think they probably have some very good evidence there.
What are you laughing at, Nige?
If he would have used the word off instead of around, I thought that's where he was going. If he would have used the word off instead of around in that clip, that's the only thing I heard in that clip.
I really wish you had been taking a drink at that point. Oh, man. Watching you try not to bust out and laugh when you heard the word jerkin come out of Bill Barr's mouth, waiting to hear what was next. Oh, so good. Alan Green's filling in for Matt Bear.
On the south side, 465 eastbound is jammed up from 70 to White River, but that earlier accident is cleared. Westbound, though, now there's a crash at Harding. College at 67th, there's an accident. A new accident now at north of Delaware. 465 southbound slows from 70 to Brookville. This report brought to you by the NRA Annual Meetings and Exhibits, April 14th to the 16th. It's the NRA Annual Meetings and Exhibits in Indianapolis, April 14th to the 16th. 14 acres of latest guns and gear. NRA members and their family get in free. Join at nraam.org. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And for those wondering about the Bill Barr music, it's a little spin-off of the old Toby Keith hit,
Sure.
I Love This Bar.
Yeah.
And we turned it into this.
I love Bill Barr. That's our former producer, the Kyle Wells.
70 degrees at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Is This Anything's next?
Are you dealing with foot, knee, hip, or back pain? Well, it sounds like you could use a spring in your step. Hi, this is Phoebe with the Good Feet store, and I've got just the thing to help you spring forward into comfort. Good Feet's unique, patented 3-step arch support system is designed to reduce pressure on your joints to keep you feeling energized all day long, even when you're running on an hour's less sleep. With less pressure on your joints, you'll also experience less pain and discomfort too. When you visit the Good Feet store, we'll take time with you to figure out what you need on your free personalized fitting. You can also take all the time you need to walk in-store to feel the Good Feet difference personalized for your feet, your shoes, and your lifestyle. Most of our customers say they feel relief immediately, and you can too. Make your appointment today at goodfeet.com. Don't just live with the pain. Discover your options and spring into comfort at the Good Feet store. Come in today for your free personalized fitting and test walk. We're in your neighborhood. Visit goodfeet.com to find the location nearest to you.
My energy efficient Window Nation windows look great on my house. They actually added value to my home because my house was built in the early 80s. So if you've got those old, cracked, hard to open, sticky, drafty windows, the time is now to get brand new Window Nation windows. 0 interest for 5 years. And Window Nation's still going to give you 2 free windows with every 2 you buy.
0 interest for 5 years. 0. That's on top of the existing deal where you can buy 2 windows and get 2 for free. Any style of window from Window Nation, and there's no limit. So you're going to save thousands of dollars on your new windows. Your energy bills will go down because your windows will be energy efficient. All you have to do is make a phone call and speak to a rep. 866-90-NATION. They'll answer any question you have. 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Imagine if you could get a 35% bonus when you invest your money. If you invest $100,000, you get a $35,000 bonus. If you invest $200,000, you get a $70,000 bonus.
Hey, it's Kendall and Casey. Learn how you could get a 35% bonus from Bill Demery, your retirement guy. We're believers in Bill, and now we're clients too. Not only will you get a 35% bonus, you'll sleep well at night knowing your money is backed by an A-plus insurance company that's been in business for 140 years and has $2.5 trillion in assets.
To learn how you could get your 35% bonus, call 317-932-9912. Reach out to Bill Demery, your retirement guy, at 317-932-9912. 317-932-9912.
This is another ad about hiring. But it's not just another ad about hiring. R.E. Diamond & Associates has opened a special position, a construction project manager, for the right person. If you're well-versed in all construction methodologies and procedures, MEPT, and have an analytical mind, this might be the right fit for you. If you bring the experience, deep understanding of the construction process, and outstanding communication skills, R.E. Diamond will meet you with competitive pay, a great benefits package, and a work culture and environment that's second to none.
Hi, this is James Darnell, Vice President of Information and Communications Technology with R.E. Diamond & Associates. We were just voted one of the best places to work in Indiana. Our expertise, integrity, and organizational culture make us a great place to continue building your career. We emphasize service and respect for our clients and pride ourselves on having the majority of our clients as repeat ones.
To find out more, Google R.E. Diamond. That's R.E. Diamond. Or to speak with an R.E. Diamond representative, call 317-634-4672.
Drexel Interiors warehouse sale has tens of thousands in inventory, including flooring at 50 cents a square foot, cabinets, vanities, and more. Thursday through Saturday only, 3217 Shadeland Avenue.
I'm just trying to
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Hammer, how do we play? Is this anything?
I'll run some stories by you. You break all the information down. You weigh out the pros and the cons. You give us a verdict. Is the story anything or not?
Okay.
Is this anything? Here's what happened when a guy tried to help a Karen, as we're going to call her, by letting her know that her purse was on the roof of her car.
I'm just trying to tell you that
I told you I don't have
your
any change.
purse is on top of your car.
Yeah.
Mind your own business.
Okay.
Play it again, Alice. I want to hear that one more time.
I'm just trying to tell you that
I told you I don't have
your
any change.
purse is on top of your car.
Mind your own business.
Oh, wow.
Dude's trying to help her. She's about to drive off with her purse on the top of her car.
I retweeted it earlier at Hammer Nigel on Twitter if you want to check it out. It's hilarious. And then she goes, mind your business. I don't know. Sometimes I see those kinds of things that have gone viral, and it's all over the place now. And I think it's either staged or manufactured somehow, and they're both in on it. But it wouldn't surprise me at all because didn't we just have I'll give you an example. What's worse, this or the Karen that overreacted when someone approached her in a parking lot?
I'm literally shaking. I am alone with my son, by myself, a woman, and a male approached me in a parking lot. He's, "Excuse me, miss," and I don't know why in the hell he was approaching me or what he was trying to do. And I mean, he was probably 30 feet from me when he said, "Excuse me, ma'am." And I turned around and I literally yelled at him and I said, "Do not approach me. No male should ever approach a woman in a parking lot."
I don't know. What's worse?
Man, that's pretty close.
Excuse me, ma'am, have you seen my dog? That's probably what he was trying to ask her. "Excuse me, man, my 5-year-old's running around the parking lot. Have you seen him?"
No male shall ever approach me. Well, okay. You talked me into it, sister.
You know, we are talking, me and my next door neighbor were talking yesterday or maybe Saturday about like how it's impossible, like if you're dating these days, it's impossible just to walk up to a woman at a bar because it'd be deemed inappropriate. It's all through the apps, right? I mean, you can't go up to a chick at a bar anymore and start talking to her.
Hey, sweet thing, let me buy you a fish sandwich. The old Leon Phelps ladies' man line.
Well, that might actually creep somebody out. But I don't know what's worse. Probably, this woman that was overreacting for being, 30 feet away. "Excuse me, ma'am? I don't know. You're okay, lady."
I'm watching the thing that you retweeted of this Karen with the purse on top of her car. And man, I'm studying this thing like it's the Zapruder film here. I think that it's fake because at the very end, this chick who looks a little bit like Ashley Banfield from News Nation grabs her purse, and the way she says, "Mind your business," and like cocks the head and then turns and drives off. It's like she was waiting for the shot to be done. I've done a little video production in my day. It's the Ball State T-Com kid in me coming out here. I'm telling you, that thing is staged.
And it's got 125,000 views.
Right.
So.
And the camera that's on this horrible woman doesn't like follow her down the road. It stays in the dedicated spot after she pulls off.
Look at you breaking it down.
I'm telling you, this is bogus. This
is
phony.
One magic Karen.
Is this anything? A passenger was forcibly removed from his flight after being asked repeatedly by the crew to exit. Apparently, the guy requested a pre-flight cocktail but was denied, prompting a meltdown. Here is the guy getting forced off of his American Airlines flight.
Hey, don't do this. You stole my phone. You stole my phone? I'm allowed to record. Give me my phone. Okay, I'll get up. Stop. Get up. Let's go. With your bag. I'm fine. Stop. I'm fine.
What the hell is going on?
Stop. Too late now. It's too late.
Hey, I'm on this guy's side. All he wanted was a cocktail. And now you're hauling him off the plane? Trust me, buddy, I've been there. I have been there. Okay?
You've been hauled off of a plane?
Yeah, well, I've been craving a cocktail pre-flight.
And you got a good finger wagging from a flight attendant before. Didn't you try to sneak in your own booze?
Oh, yeah, I did. They let you put the minis, the mini bottles through security, but you're not allowed to open them on a plane. I didn't really even know that. And before they even started serving, they came around with a trash bag or whatever to throw some trash away. And I put almost in the stewardess's face, just put my empties in there. She goes, "Did you bring your own?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "That's illegal. You are not allowed to do that." I go, "Are you going to throw me off the plane? We're already in the air." Like I was just kind of, she goes,
toss you off like Dave Chappelle and Con Air and just throw you off.
Going to put me on the no-fly list now, lady? Sorry, I didn't know.
One of my favorite things that I see in studio, again, this is with Allison, our new producer, is every once in a while when Nige tells a story, I can see the exact moment where Allison loses the respect for you. There's an exact moment where the eyes roll and she puts her head down, shakes her head just a little bit.
You need a dedicated camera on her.
Right. There's always one exact moment where she thinks, "Oh my God, what in the hell have I gotten myself into?"
Eye rolls or being worried.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Contaminated meds took Carrie's vision and her hope. A shooting stole Ray's sight and his dreams. To those who experience it, vision loss is devastating. But the programs of Bosma's Center for Visionary Solutions offer a return to independence. Without your help, though, those programs can't continue. If you act now, you can double the impact of your gift to the Bosma Visionary Opportunities Foundation. Change lives today at bosma.org/donate.
I love everything about my brand new Galaxy concrete garage floor. It's literally out of this world because I didn't think a garage floor could look this nice, especially my old one. It would never been taken care of. It was cracked, and they came in, the guys at Galaxy Concrete, within a day, made it look brand new. And they don't use epoxy. That's the old stuff. This is much better. It's polyurea, the new premium standard for garage coatings. Check out their website to see pictures and get a quote. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com or call them 317-751-9070.
There's nothing like the freedom of the open road and the bond bikers share here in Indiana. But motorcycle wrecks can result in very serious injuries like a TBI and broken neck.
At Isaacs & Isaacs, we are the attorneys for bikers. We know bikers because many of us are bikers.
So we take motorcycle wrecks personally. And our team will fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
Click and get help quick at WeWin.com. That's WeWin.com.
Well, changing question. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? High taxes can erode returns quickly, so you need a tax-optimized portfolio. At Creative Planning, our money managers and specialists work together to make sure your portfolio and wealth are managed in a tax-efficient manner. It's what you keep that really matters. Why not give your wealth a second look? Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity during tax season because so much sensitive info is all together.
Before we start the annual meeting of Sean's personal info, has anyone seen Social Security number?
Not me.
Nope.
Nuh-uh.
Oh no. He's been stolen.
LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, we'll work to fix it. No one can monitor all transactions, but you can save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
They worked at the bank. 70 degrees, sunny in downtown Indianapolis. Your radar clear. The low tonight, 44 degrees with mostly clear skies. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 4:32. The suspect in the Louisville bank shooting this morning was 23 years old and an employee, say police. 4 people are dead and 9 are hurt at the Old National Bank. Louisville's mayor says he was the survivor of a previous workplace shooting.
Whether you were physically hurt or not, I know that you're hurting too. We are here for you as well.
Mayor Craig Greenberg made that comment while speaking about the bank shooting. He also praised the response of police and other first responders. Of those responding, Interim Louisville Police Chief Jacqueline Gwynn, who had a clear message this morning.
This should not continue to happen. Evil should not try to prevail and take over our city. And we let it happen. 2
officers were hurt exchanging gunfire with the suspect, who is now dead. One of those officers is in critical condition. A massive drug bust Friday in Vigo County. Jaden Arnold reports.
5 people were arrested and charged with drug-related crimes after a big drug bust in Vigo County. The bust was the result of a joint investigation involving local and state police as well as the DEA. The suspects had a large variety of different kinds of drugs like marijuana, LSD, magic mushrooms, methamphetamine, THC wax, THC vapes, and THC edibles. The police also took 8 guns and about $240,000 in cash. Jaden Arnold, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Blue Buffalo Pet Food is investing hundreds of millions of dollars into its Richmond facility. And there's plenty of reasons why the small town is making big business moves, says Gary Digg with Inside Indiana Business.
One is, I think, more so the relationship, the proximity to I-70, major interstate. That's the other piece that's happening there. In addition to these economic development deals, more than $60 million in road and infrastructure projects are now underway.
He tells WIBC's Tony Katz the town's growth is also thanks to Hoosiers not giving up on Richmond's future. Your stock report, the Dow finishing up 101 points today to 33,586. The NASDAQ down 3 to 12,084. And the S&P 500 up 4, closing at 4,109. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:34.
Indy, finally springtime, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Edwina did. She called Rhino Shield.
Over the years, I've had to touch up the house. I just got to the point where I couldn't spend any more money on the outside of the house. And when I saw Rhino Shield, I thought that was the answer to my problem.
Rhino Shield's not paint, it's better.
I'd had painters here before, and it was usually quite a disaster with them leaving their equipment here and picking up things in the yard. But Rhino Shield was right on it.
Indy, now get the guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
The gentleman said, if you're interested, give me a call. And I said, honestly, can you come tomorrow?
Here's Rhino Shield's Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Don't paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
But traffic at 435. Here's Alan Green.
Thank you, Harrison. An accident on College at 67th, 465 eastbound near White River. An earlier accident is cleared. Traffic still slow from 70. 465 westbound at Harding now. An accident has the right lane blocked. And 65 southbound from 21st to the North Split, traffic is jamming up. This report brought to you by Drexel Interiors. Shop Drexel Interiors for carpet and get free padding. Yes, buy carpet, get free padding, only at Drexel Interiors. Visit Drexel in Carmel or on North Shadeland. Find Drexel at drexelin.com. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, mostly clear, low temperature to 40 degrees. Tomorrow, temperature climb continues, mostly sunny with a high temperature of 68 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hello, my name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. So a couple of Tennessee lawmakers, representatives were expelled for participating in this anti-gun protest at the state capitol there in Tennessee. Like they stormed these protesters basically stormed the Tennessee capitol, and these lawmakers assisted in it.
Right. It's not as if like the lawmakers said, hey, here's what you do. If you want to chant this, go ahead, but we got work to do down here. That wasn't what happened. These lawmakers were engaging with the protesters while the work of the state of Tennessee was supposed to being done on the floor.
One dude had a bullhorn.
Right. They were intentionally disrupting action on the Tennessee State House floor. That is why they were ultimately expelled.
Yeah.
It wasn't because they were protesting. You've got a right to protest. But when you hamper the work of the people of the state, then yes, that's a problem.
And when you say expelled, the rest of their colleagues kicked them out of their seats. They're done.
2 out of the 3, yes.
Or one might be coming back or getting reinstated or something. Right?
Well, of the 2 that got kicked out, 1 might be coming back. There was 1 person that showed a little remorse, did not have a bullhorn, and the vote ultimately was you can keep your job. But as I said on Friday, I know you were out, Nige, I love the backbone of the Republican Party in the state of Tennessee. They looked at people trying to disrupt the work of the people and said, no, that's not how we do things here. You don't get to bitch and moan and whine and be a petulant child and get your way. That may happen in other parts of the country. That's not happening here in Tennessee. But that's not how the media is covering it.
Well, the media is now, they're covering and saying it's a white supremacy.
It's white supremacy.
It's well, I mean, you said there were 3 people up there. The one lady that got to stay was white. The 2 other guys were black. So that kind of looks bad.
So ABC's John Carl, he opened up his show yesterday by making it look like they just wanted better gun laws and they lost their jobs.
In Tennessee, 2 young black lawmakers expelled from the State House of Representatives after they took a stand on gun violence.
That is not why they were expelled. Not even close to being true. They were expelled because they were prohibiting work being done by their fellow lawmakers on the floor.
They were disruptive. If Rob Kendall came in here right now with a bullhorn and just started spouting off about Todd Young and Todd Rokita,
right,
he'd probably get fired.
Right.
like our bosses would say, hey, you're disrupting the work that's going on in here. What are you doing?
And for those who are saying freedom of speech, freedom of expression, nobody is trying to put these people in jail, but you can lose your job. It's the same thing with freedom of speech. Everybody gets it, wrong. You've got the right to say whatever you want, but if you say something stupid, you can lose your job, or it can come back to bite you in a court of law, like Guy Relford talked about earlier.
Yeah, so they didn't throw them out because they were of a certain color. They threw them out because, first of all, they had the votes. Second of all, they violated the rules in place that were there for a very long time.
And good for those lawmakers in Tennessee, because you have to let these lunatics know you don't just get to barge into the State House and get what you want, despite the fact that you've gone accustomed to it, I guess. You've grown accustomed to it from 2020 to now. Tennessee Republicans, unlike Indiana, had a backbone. In Indiana, when an angry mob marches down the street to the governor's mansion, Governor Holcomb will have a one-on-one with Malik Mohammed. But in Tennessee, when an angry mob tries to come into the State House and prohibit work being done, they fire the lawmakers that have the bullhorns, trying to get them to be louder. So this brings us to Kamala Harris. She very rarely goes down to the border, but she was really quick to hop on a flight to Nashville, Tennessee, and speak at Fisk University, like Carlton Fisk, Fisk University. Listen to all the bull crap that she told these students.
It wasn't about the three of these leaders. It was about who they were representing. It's about whose voices they were channeling. Understand that. And is that not what a democracy allows? A democracy says you don't silence the people. You do not stifle the people. You don't turn off their microphones when they are speaking about the importance of life and liberty.
Really?
That is not what a democracy does.
So you went out of your way, your administration went out of your way to silence the Hunter Biden laptop story during election season, the October surprise, and you're going to sit up there with that stupid cackling laugh and wag your finger at me? Hell no.
Plus, I'm missing the part here. Look, it looks like while she was in Nashville, she met in private with the ousted Democrat reps. But I'm looking here. I'm assuming she also met with the victims of the Christian school shooting. Is it?
That did not happen.
I'm sorry?
Did not happen. She was all about the Tennessee 3, but the Nashville 6, crickets. Nothing. Absolutely deplorable from Kamala Harris, but that's what I would expect, honestly.
Sure? That just doesn't seem right. That doesn't... I must have missed it. I don't know.
Dateline Chicago. The new mayor of Chicago, Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson.
Let's go, Brandon.
He really wants to revamp the education system in Chicago. And to do that, he's a man that believes in no homework and no failing grades for kids.
Pushing to eliminate sort of the standardization of our public schools. My students sometimes would get frustrated. I didn't offer any test prep. Many of my other colleagues were doing it at the time. I was pushing our administration to move away from that. To be quite frank with you, I didn't issue a lot of homework for students. That was my own way of sort of rebelling against the structure. I don't think I ever gave a kid an F. I don't know how a student sits in front of you and fails. I know some professors may find that, this is slightly troubling.
Could it be possible that he's even worse than old Beetlejuice, Lori Lightfoot?
It's very possible.
Like this guy actually, campaigned on expanding sanctuary city policies and giving money to social workers instead of cops and raising taxes. And now he's saying, we need to rethink how we give kids grades. We'll just do away with Fs altogether.
It's kind of like getting rid of Carson Wentz and then replacing him with Matt Ryan. You think that it's going to be an upgrade, but next thing you know, you end up having a worse record, and you're like, what the hell's going on around here? Like, you see this so often with schools, and my wife, who's worked in education, would tell me so often, these mainly inner city schools, they focus so much time and energy on and money on the kids that don't want to be there. The kids that have no interest in learning, don't want to be there. They're just there because it's a babysitter for a few hours.
And the kids that excel are ignored.
100%. Perfectly said. File this under the category of, come on, man. What are you doing? Democratic Connecticut Senator Dick Blumenthal.
Da-nang Dick.
Thank you, President Trump.
Because he lied about his military service. Right? In Vietnam, Da-nang Dick.
He's going to have surgery because he broke his leg celebrating the UConn basketball team at their parade.
Really? Somebody fell on him or something, right?
He's got a broken leg, so now he's got to have surgery. And I started thinking about ridiculous injuries while celebrating. Do you remember the Cardinals kicker? And I can't remember what his name is. This is a number of years ago, but he made a kick in like a regular season game, and he was jumping up and down, and then he blew out his ACL while he was celebrating.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that. And didn't who were those twins that were kickers? Cardinal.
Oh, I know who you're
Tampa
talking
Bay.
about. Yeah.
Didn't one of them get injured? Well, and who's the NFL player that slammed his head against the wall?
Was that Gus Farrat?
Yes, I think so. That slammed his head after getting a touchdown. He head slammed the concrete barrier where the fans sit, and he got a concussion.
Got a concussion and injured his neck a little bit. So that's Connecticut Senator Dick Blumenthal.
Da-nang Dick.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hubler has all the top brands: Chevy, Buick, GMC, Ford, Acura, Honda, Mazda, Nissan, and more. And every new vehicle includes a 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Looking to sell your vehicle? We'll pay you top dollar, even if you don't buy ours. Take it from Brooke Hubler.
You can get a car anywhere, but you can only get a warranty like this at Hubler. 10 years, 200,000 miles.
Visit drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Warranty available on new vehicles except certain models, not transferable or available on leases. A copy of the warranty is available for review at the dealership.
Howard Bailey Financial, they have a massive team that's going to work with you every step of the way when planning the most important parts of your life in retirement.
Think about the next 20 years of your life. What do you want it to look like? Do you want to keep working, but maybe not as much? We call that a work optional lifestyle. Do you want to stay living in Indy, or do you want to go somewhere where the weather's a little nicer year-round? Whatever your vision of retirement is, let the team from Howard Bailey come up with a customized plan specifically for you. Everybody's different. Everybody's visions of retirement are different. That's why every plan they create is different, and it's catered to you. So if you're ready to live your best life in retirement, go see the Howard Bailey difference. Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Hey, this is Pastor Micah Beckwith.
And I'm Pastor Nathan Peternell.
And we serve at Life Church, and we got a podcast that we wanted to tell you about called Jesus, Sex, and Politics.
Yeah, you know all those things that the culture doesn't want to talk about that will scare you? Yeah, that's our bread and butter. We love it.
We're going to equip you on how to defend conservative constitutional values based in God's Word in this podcast. So tune in to Jesus, Sex, and Politics.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been solving garage door problems for 33 years. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today.
Today.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
Healthcare.gov is here for you when life happens. If you lost your health coverage because of turning 26, going off Medicaid, leaving your job, or moving, you could be eligible to enroll in new coverage now. And if you need to update your coverage because of marriage or having a baby, you could also be eligible. But don't wait. There's a limited time to enroll. Check your eligibility at healthcare.gov today. Life happens. Get covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Drexel Interior's warehouse sale has tens of thousands in inventory, including flooring at 50 cents a square foot, cabinets, vanities, and more. Thursday through Saturday only, 3217 Shadeland Avenue.
It was Bill Gramatica that was the Cardinals kicker that was jumping up and down and then injured his knee, I believe, during the celebration. Yeah. The Gramatica were brothers. There was his brother Martin Gramatica that was a kicker for a long time. I just retweeted the video, the YouTube link, if you want to watch the cringeworthy celebration of Bill celebrating his made field goal with the Cardinals at Hammer and Nigel. All right, Alan Green's got to look at the roads.
Right, crash on College at 67th. 465 eastbound is slow from Kentucky to Harding, partly from an earlier crash. 465 northbound now jams up between 86th and the Dogleg, and 65 southbound from 21st to the North splits and brake lights. This report brought to you by Drexel Interiors. Drexel Interiors warehouse sale is tens of thousands in inventory, including flooring at 50 cents a square foot, cabinets, vanities, and more. Thursday through Saturday only, 3217 Shadeland Avenue. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
71 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, and we have a nude dude in the news.
Oh, boy. Here's another nude dude in the news. Florida man. Broke into 2 houses, jumped in a pool, jumped on a trampoline, then ran from the cops.
Bingo!
During the ordeal, cops realized that Blake Tuckman was not only naked, but greased up.
Hold on. I'm looking at my bingo card. I don't have greasy Florida man on here. That's a new one.
Jumped in a pool, jumped on a trampoline, run from the cops, naked and greased up, as the cops say. Here is audio from the officer's body cam.
I got one running, going westbound behind just the fence. He's naked. He's in the pool. Still running. Get back here! Put your hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
Oh, okay. It's like a paste.
Yeah. What's all over you, man? It smells like toothpaste.
These poor cops doubled their salary. They are heroes. When we need them, they are there at a moment's notice, but they also have to deal with guys that are, quote, greased up and naked.
Oh, I'm reading the story. Greased up naked Florida man facing charges of 2 counts of burglary, 3 counts of battery on a law enforcement officer. So he fought with police. 2 counts of criminal mischief and resisting arrest with violence.
Is there anything having to do with him being nude in those criminal charges? Like public indecency, maybe? Something like that?
Maybe he plead out of that. I'm not sure.
Criminal mischief, is that maybe that falls under the criminal mischief umbrella? I don't know.
But the fact there was battery on an officer and resisting arrest means that one of those brave police officers in Florida had to fight this naked lunatic. You were involved with a naked man, and he's got things swinging and flying, and he's greased up too. Like, I wonder if all of him was greased
like
up.
Toothpaste. What's on you, dude? Oh, those were probably the rookies that had to chase him. Yeah, we got a 911 call. It's about some naked, greased-up guy running in people's backyards. Yeah, we'll send Riggs and Hodges over there. Those guys are rookies. You go deal with that one, guys.
The veterans are just sitting back. They got popcorn. They're listening to the police radio. He's naked. He's jumping in the pool. Yeah, they'll do that. So Alan Ruck is an actor, probably best known for playing Cameron in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yes.
Right? I've been in a few other things.
He's in Succession, too, the television show HBO Succession. I have not watched last night's episode. I heard it was explosive, actually, but I don't know any details.
It was the shocking return of Alf. You're not going to believe it. Spoiler. Did you know he only made $40,000 for playing the role of Cameron in Ferris Bueller's Day Off?
Oh, stop.
And after
$40,000?
Yep. And he was talking about this the other day. After the movie came out, he had to work at a Sears warehouse just to, pay his bills and things like that. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Ferris Bueller's Day Off,
$40,000. One of my favorite, man.
Here is the scene in the movie where Cameron is contemplating going to hang out with Ferris.
Yeah.
$20 says he's sitting in his car debating about whether or not he should go out. He'll keep calling me until I come over. He'll make me feel guilty. This is ridiculous, okay? I'll go.
80s movies paid like crap, man.
Yeah, I guess so.
Who was the dude in 16 Candles? Like the buff, good-looking dude, Jake Ryan?
Yeah.
He was working at a Lowe's or something. He was a woodworker, and that was one of the biggest movies of the 80s. Top stories coming up next.
Mark Dietel is the only real estate expert I trust and recommend with the sale of my home, and especially because of this guarantee he's got. Mark Dietel guarantees you your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or he's going to buy it. Look what happened with Melissa and Leonard in Mooresville. They needed to move out of the state for a job change. They needed to sell quickly, and they heard about Mark Dietel on our show, had their home sold in 25 days for cash at the price they needed, but they were afraid they wouldn't get.
Mark Dietel is the only agent that we recommend and trust here on the Hammer and Nigel show. Why? Because Mark Dietel guarantees you he will sell your home or he will buy it. Yes, that's the guarantee. Mark Dietel will sell your home or he will buy it. If you don't believe us, call him. He's waiting for your call right now. 317-755-4232. That's 755-4232. Or go to markdietel.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietel.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
This is your final chance to get a free furnace from Peterman Brothers.
When you install a qualifying AC system, we'll include the furnace for free.
This deal ends on April 30th, so don't wait.
Visit yourfreefurnace.com to schedule online in seconds.
And we'll install it next day, guaranteed, or we'll give you $500.
That's yourfreefurnace.com to schedule today.
Peterman Brothers, where great service runs in the family.
Fellas, need an annual health exam for work or just want to start the year prioritizing your health? We recommend Low T Center to get your complete health assessment. They check all your levels, not just your testosterone.
It's typically covered by most health insurance, and if you don't have insurance, it's less than $100 for full labs and an office visit with the provider. Low T Center specializes in men's health, making it quick and easy. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
Are your investments going nowhere? Here's a tip that always pays big dividends. Invest in yourself, your talent, your smarts, your skills. Maybe it's time to make that investment and start a career in IT or upskill to boost your current career. At My Computer Career, you can bank on us. We'll help you get the right skills and the right certifications to start or advance your IT career. IT keeps growing, so go with the growth at My Computer Career. The right training, the right timing, the right career. Invest in you at mycomputercareer.edu. Start now.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Woodard Emhart, Henry, Reeves, and Wagner. Over 140 years specializing exclusively in patent, trademark, trade secret, and copyright law and litigation. On the web at uspatent.com.
Reach your savings goals. Busey Bank CD specials can help. Watch your money grow with competitive rates and offers. Visit Busey.com/CD rates. Visit your local service center or call 1-800-67-BUSEY today. Busey Bank. Building business, growing wealth since 1868.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Donnie Burgess reports on a fatal shooting Monday on the west side and 5 people arrested after a drug bust in Vigo County. It's all coming up after Fox News Radio from the Peterman Brothers Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
Killing co-workers. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. Police in Kentucky say a 23-year-old employee at a Louisville bank opened fire this morning, killing 4 people and injuring 9 others.
This should not continue to happen. Evil should not try to prevail and take over our city, and we let it happen.
Interim Police Chief Jacqueline Gwynn Villaroel says officers were in the bank within minutes and shot and killed the suspect. 2 officers were wounded, 1 critically.
Let's be clear about what this was. This was an evil act of targeted violence.
Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg. Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear says a close friend was among those killed today. Another friend is hospitalized. Police say the gunman was live streaming the shooting before he was killed by police. President Biden responding to today's Kentucky shooting, tweeting, "The nation mourns after a senseless act of gun violence, and too many Americans are paying the price of inaction with their lives." He added, "When will Republicans in Congress act to protect our communities?" Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott says a city curfew for kids will be reinstated following a shooting last night.
He said Baltimore's police officers are ready to break up crowds of teens fighting, some of whom may be armed.
But we're also going to put some sense of accountability on families and everyone else.
The curfew requires kids younger than 14 be off the streets by 9 p.m. Teens age 14 to 16 must be home by 10 p.m. The policy dates back to 2016. 2 people have been arrested for the Sunday shooting.
Fox's Gernal Scott. The Justice Department has filed for an emergency stay of a Texas federal judge's ruling that suspended FDA approval of the abortion pill mifepristone. That drug was approved by the FDA over 20 years ago. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
They were found in an alley, 70 degrees and sunny on Monument Circle. Your radar clear. There might be a few clouds that move in tonight with a low of 44. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. Police in Indianapolis are investigating a Monday morning fatal shooting. Donnie Burgess reports.
The body was found in a dark alley near 10th Street, says Indy Metro Police. Detectives say the man was already dead by the time cops arrived around 4:30 Monday morning. There's no word on any suspects or the victim's name. If you know anything or heard anything, you can call IMPD or Crime Stoppers. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Someone else was found shot at a motel on the south side around 6 this morning. IMPD says it happened at a Super 8 motel on Bixler Road just off US 31 and Thompson Road near 465. Officers say the man had been shot in the leg and hip and was sent to the hospital. They're still investigating the shooting. 5 people were arrested after a drug bust in Vigo County last Friday. Police say they found guns, LSD, 41 pounds of weed, 2 pounds of what officers are calling magic mushrooms, and over 2 pounds of meth. They also found more than $200,000 in cash. The 5 suspects face charges related to drug dealing and possession. Republican candidate for Indianapolis Mayor Abdul Hakim Shabazz wants to patch up those potholes.
I'm a firm believer that everybody, no matter where you live in Indianapolis, no matter what your zip code is, what your color is, you deserve to have good roads and safe streets. Plain and simple.
In a press conference this morning, Shabazz also says he has a plan on better ways to deal with crime in the Circle City. Hospitals in Indiana lost money last year, says Brian Tabor with the Indiana Hospital Association.
The healthcare system, I think, is still strained, increasing costs of labor, of drugs, and supplies.
He tells Indy Politics that it also appears lawmakers aren't helping their case. Tabor saying that lawmakers are looking to pass a de facto cap on some hospital prices to lower healthcare costs, which he understands, but thinks it could make it more difficult for hospitals to provide proper care. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 5:04.
Your joints are talking to you, right? They're saying, hey, something's not right. You didn't listen because you thought the pain would go away in a week or two, but it's not going away.
Football legend Emmitt Smith knows you've got to listen to your body. And when it sends pain signals, don't wait. Get ahead. Stop it in its tracks with a visit to the nation's leader in joint pain relief.
That's QC Kinetics. Yeah, they are way ahead of the curve in this pain treatment business.
QC Kinetics says no to invasive surgeries and harsh drugs. They found a better, natural way to relief, using your body's own healing properties that you were born with. And it takes place the same day right in the office.
Before that pain goes next level, get ahead of it. Go see QC Kinetics. Stop it in its tracks.
Call QC Kinetics, 317-559-PAIN. That's 317-559-PAIN. 317-559-PAIN.
With traffic at 5:05, here's Alan Green.
Thank you, Harrison. 65 southbound jams up from 21st to the north split. 465 northbound from 70 to Shadeland backs up. Southbound 465 is tight from 70 to Brookville. And 465 eastbound from the Dogleg to Ditch. Some delays there as well. This report brought to you by Indeed.com. If you're looking to hire, look to Indeed. With Indeed's hiring platform, you can attract, interview, and hire candidates all from one place. Visit Indeed.com/credit. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, mostly clear, low temperature to 40 degrees. Tomorrow, temperature climb continues, mostly sunny with a high temperature of 68 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters are weirdos? So let's rock it!
Jason Hammer right over there. My name is Nigel. The Louisville police have identified the 23-year-old who opened fire at the Old National Bank downtown Louisville this morning. He worked at the bank. He was live streaming during the attack that left 4 innocent people dead, many more injured, including 2 police officers, one critically. The report says he used a rifle in the attack. Not immediately clear whether he purchased it himself.
The live stream was on Instagram, and the police say they are in custody of that, and it has been taken down.
Good.
But you know as well as I do, I'm sure somebody out there probably has this, saved this somehow. It's going to make its way out
Imagine if, going through the horror of going through a mass shooting or being a victim of a mass shooting, but then secondarily having to be a police officer, walk in on that grisly crime scene, and then having to watch it unfold. Because it's evidence now. I mean, that's part of the investigation, is that live stream video. Now, there's a weird connection here to Indiana. The shooter's dad, I'm just going to read this off foxnews.com. The shooter's dad was a college and high school basketball coach in Indiana who led his most recent team to 2 sectional titles before retiring last year. The school is in Floyd Knobs, Indiana, 10 miles away from downtown Louisville. Before coaching there, he had left his job as the successful head coach at the University of Indianapolis in 2007. His 2 sons were 9 and 6 at the time.
And I'm looking at the dailybeast.com, which is normally a pretty left-leaning outlet, but they're saying that the now deceased gunman was a basketball player on the Floyd Central team, which would make sense down in Floyd's Knobs, the same area where, if you're any sort of historian about Indiana basketball, I believe Pat Graham, former IU star, came out of. The gunman had a podcast where he and buddies talked about NBA basketball. They also talked politics, including the Black Lives Matter movement and some criticisms of then President Donald Trump. The sources for this are WAVE3 television. And again, crazy Indiana connection. Louisville right there on the border, so it shouldn't be too much of a shock. But again, what we know right now, 4 innocent victims, gunmen also deceased at this hour. We're not quite sure if it was self-inflicted or if the police took him down. The names of the victims, Joshua Barrick, 40 years old. Thomas Elliott, 63 years old. Juliana Farmer, 45 years old. James Tutt, 64 years old. We're going to say their names. We're not going to say the name of the gunman, but if you do any sort of research, you can kind of put 2 and 2 together to figure out who this was. He has been identified by the authorities. In other news, Nigel, it looks like Gavin Newsom, and we've talked about this for a while, it shouldn't be a surprise, laying the groundwork to run for president. Because why else would the governor of California make a pit stop in the state of Florida to attack Ron DeSantis?
Saw that.
So he jumped on MSNBC's program with Jen Psaki. Now, if you forgot who she was, President Trump.
The press secretary with the extremely red hair.
That was Jen Psaki. She now has a program on MSNBC. And I don't know why there's weird music behind this. I don't know if this is the way Jen Psaki does things. But here's Gavin Newsom on with Jen Psaki on if Ron DeSantis can beat Donald Trump.
Trump's just going to roll him. Thumped. I honestly, if I were offering him political advice, I'd tell him to pack up and wait a few years. And actually do some of the hard work, which actually includes governing, not just identity and culture war.
You preside over one of the worst states in America. People are fleeing California by the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands a year because of your woke policies and your unbelievably high taxes. And he's got the nerve to, I mean, Florida's flourishing. What is he talking about?
So the governor from the state where people are leaving in droves, more people have left that state over the last few years than any other state in America, and is criticizing the governor of the state where more people have traveled to. Okay, fine. But again, this is all about 2020. DeSantis has not declared. Gavin Newsom has not declared. But man, you can look into that crystal ball and see the writing is right there. So if Gavin is laying the groundwork to run, what does that mean for Joe Biden? He was asked about that today. Today was the Easter roll at the White House, and NBC was covering the event this morning. So they put Al Roker on it. You know, Al's kind of a fun guy. You know, he's not going to sit around and beat around the bush. He'll ask you straight up. Here is Al Roker asking Joe Biden if he was running again.
Are you saying that you would be taking part in our upcoming election in 2024?
Well, I'll either be rolling an egg or being the guy who's pushing them out.
Come on, help a brother out. Make some news for me.
Well, I plan on running now, but we're not prepared to announce it yet.
The hell was that?
So it sounds like he's running.
Right, but what was that nonsensical answer at the beginning?
He's either going to push the eggs or roll them.
I've got the official transcript here in front of me. Allison, please turn your microphone on. I would like for you to read the official response that Joe Biden gave Al Roker when he asked if he was running again.
Well, I'll either be rolling an egg or being the the guy pushing them out.
Okay, that's pretty good. But if we're going to do this, I think we have to do it right. Ladies and gentlemen, the Gibberish Man.
And now, time for another conversation with Gibberish Man.
He's the Gibberish Man, he's the Gibberish Man. He talks in gibberish, Gibberish Man. Oh, you can't understand the Gibberish Man, because he talks in gibberish, Gibberish Man.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gibberish Man.
Well, I'll either be rolling an egg or being the guy who's pushing them out.
Oh, you can't understand the Gibberish Man, because he talks in gibberish, Gibberish Man.
That's his response to being asked, "Are you running for president?" Well, I'll either be rolling egg or being the goo the guy who's pushing them out. That's great, but are you running for president, you senile old goat? Good
Crying
Lord.
over here. I needed that. Wow.
So yesterday was, I would say, the most holy day on the Christian calendar. Yesterday was Easter.
He is risen. Sure.
He is risen. Did you have a good time with the fam yesterday?
Absolutely. Played a little kickball outside. Saturday, we had a little gathering. Had some really good food. And, it was a really, really beautiful weekend.
I know a lot of people celebrate with eggs on Easter, whether they're hiding eggs for the kids to chase down, or maybe you're eating eggs, deviled eggs or whatnot.
I did.
So if Easter is on Sunday and it's about eggs, you know what today is.
The day after Easter is Egg Fart Monday. Egg Fart Monday is not a real holiday. However, it's still a good idea to practice social distancing in your home, especially after your dad ate all of the egg salad from the dyed Easter eggs. Turn up the ceiling fans. Don't forget to wear your medical mask inside. Light a scented candle and crank up the Febreze. And happy Egg Fart Monday. Egg Fart Monday is still not a real holiday.
I disagree. I believe Egg Fart Monday is very real.
I'm celebrating right now, actually.
Alan Green, happy Egg Fart Monday. How are you?
Well, back at you. Just swell. Hey, 65 southbound jams up between King and the North Split. 465 northbound from 70 to Shadeland, some delays. Southbound 465 slows from Washington to Brookville, and 465 eastbound from the Dog Leg to Ditch. Some brake lights there as well. This report brought to you by Isaacs and Isaacs. Dog bite injury? Call Isaacs and Isaacs, the law firm Indiana has trusted for over 20 years. They'll fight to give you every dollar you deserve. Click and get help quick at WeWin.com. That's WeWin.com. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
We got a big 45 minutes ahead of us here because we got the Chicks on the Right's Daisy coming up at 5:33. We have Zionsville mayor candidate Jane Burgess coming up next.
Yeah, we had John Stayer on, who's also the Republican, one of the guys running. So it's
keeping it fair.
Yeah.
And at 5:50, Nige, what do we got lined up?
Moonshine Monday,
Moonshine Monday, baby. Oh, I love the addition of Moonshine Monday to this program. So if you had a rough day, stick around with us. We got Moonshine Monday coming up. Don't go anywhere. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Premier Deck Coating, the ultimate deck protection. Who are they? Well, they're a sister company of Rhino Shield, and Premier Deck Coating is the product you need if you're tired of applying the same old stain and paint every couple of years to your deck. It's Terry, Stacy, and David and I have a deck that's probably 25 years old. The countless hours and the money that we spend on maintaining that deck never ends. And then we heard about Premier Deck Coating. Family owned, based right here in Indy, and they are going to completely transform our deck with their special formulated product, which repels moisture, scratch resistant in virtually any color that we want, and backed by a 10-year guarantee. No more spending time staining or painting every year. Premier Deck Coating will keep our deck looking great for years to come. Premier Deck Coating can also do fences and pergolas too. For a free quote, call 317-696-4071 or visit premierdeckcoating.com.
Well, it's a great honor. It's obviously not the reason I volunteer, but it's nice.
Meet Chuck Bouillou, retired registered nurse, volunteer at Meals on Wheels, and another Jiffy Lube Do More winner.
And I'm Jiffy Lube owner Jennifer Sanner. At Jiffy Lube, we are rewarding Hoosier volunteers who use their vehicle to do more to make Indiana a better place to live.
Satisfying that I know that at least that day they will get a meal, maybe even 2 meals.
Each month, Jiffy Lube of Indiana provides a volunteer free vehicle maintenance for a year, whether it's someone who delivers smiles and supplies or drives somewhere to serve on site. Jiffy Lube supports local givers who count on their car to do more for Indy, and we love to hear their stories.
You get an oil change every couple months. It's nice.
If you know a volunteer who impacts your community, nominate them today to receive a year's worth of free vehicle maintenance. Just click the Do More tab at JiffyLubeIndiana.com.
Life is all about enjoying the little moments. Don't miss out on them because of unexpected heart issues. At Community Health Network, you receive heart care you can trust. From simple screenings to life-saving diagnostic and interventional cardiology services, we offer it all, so you can get back to the moments that matter. Learn more about our services at ecommunity.com/heart. Community Health Network. Exceptional care simply delivered.
Hey guys, it's Abdul, and I'm running for mayor of Indianapolis. You see, all my adult life, I believed in leaving things better than when I found them. As an attorney, I worked to leave my clients in a better position. As a teacher, I worked to leave my students better educated. And as a political commentator, I worked to leave my audience more informed. Now I'm running for mayor because I want the city to be in better shape. So go to AbdulForIndy.com and read about our plans to take a tough but smart approach to dealing with crime, our creative approach to road funding, and restoring public trust in government. You know, we all deserve a great city to live in, and together we can make that happen. It's not just talk, it's a plan. Paid for by Abdul for Indy.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity during tax season because so much sensitive info is all together.
Before we start the annual meeting of Sean's personal info, has anyone seen Social Security number? Not me. Nope. Nuh-uh. Oh, no. He's been stolen.
LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, we'll work to fix it. No one can monitor all transactions, but you can save up to 25% off your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Identity theft protection starts here.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
Shop Drexel Interiors for carpet and get free padding. Yes, buy carpet, get free padding. Only at Drexel Interiors. Visit Drexel in Carmel or on North Shaylin. Find Drexel at drexel-in.com.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for plenty of advice and fun. Brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and foundation, life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Why does We Grow Hair Indy have the best hair transplant results? Because they have the best technology. And I'm living proof of it. This is Rob. I'm out and about in the community for this radio station, and I feel so much better because We Grow Hair Indy has the technology that restored both my hairline and my crown area. And this year, they can restore yours too. Call them right now at 317-522-2995. Here's Darren Andrews to explain.
Having that strong hairline again completely changes the way you see yourself. It makes a huge difference. A lot of people think the crown cannot be transplanted. It's actually an area of specialty for us with our multi-unit hair grafting.
My hair is going to grow the rest of my life. I'm very happy I called We Grow Hair Indy. Call right now for your free evaluation. 317-522-2995. That's 317-522-2995. WeGrowHairIndy.com. The gold standard in hair restoration.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show. Jason Hammer right over there. My name is Nigel. We'll go straight to the drivehubler.com hotline and bring on Jane Burgess. She's a Republican running for the mayor of Zionsville. John Stair is her opponent. We had him on a couple of weeks ago, and it's Jane's turn. Jane, I hope you had an awesome Easter weekend. How are you?
Thank you so much. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
We're doing awesome. And before we get to your background and your qualifications, kind of big picture here, maybe you could speak to this. I was talking to a relative over the weekend. I told her that I was interviewing you, and they asked me, why should people in other towns and cities in Central Indy pay attention to this race? And my response was, all politics are local. Some of the same problems Zionsville had over the past 4 years could be happening in your community. And if something isn't going right in your local school district, or you feel like somebody has dropped the ball in the town council, or you think something needs improved in your town, then voting for the President of the United States, it's important, but it's not going to solve what's going on in your community. It's making your voice heard with your vote at the local level that matters. Does that make sense?
Yes, it sure does. It's extremely important at the local level.
So, Jane, let me jump in here real quick because I don't live in Zionsville, okay? I know Nigel represents the Z-ville, and a lot of our listeners do. So, explain to me why there's been so much drama going on in that community over the last couple of years. You got the current mayor dropping F-bombs, the city-county council, they're not in communication with anybody. How did Zionsville get to this point?
Well, what's happened, I think, over the past 3 years is the current mayor has really caused a divide in the town between the mayor's office and town council, which has really slowed down our ability to progress and make things happen in our town. So I'm running for mayor because I want to ensure that what makes Zionsville unique endures while we work together to plan and build for tomorrow. I believe that our town deserves better. People approached me to consider running for mayor because of my experience serving on numerous boards, for my leadership, as I was elected 3 times to serve 12 years on the Zionsville School Board, and for my ability to bring people together to work toward common goals. As you know, our current mayor has driven our finances into the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The State Board of Accounts audit of our 2021 financials, which I know you two have talked about a lot, resulted in alarming findings, including misappropriation of funds, improper use of town credit cards, and unapproved expenditures by our current mayor. And to top that off, the town council had not seen financial statements for 2 years.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, the headlines have just been embarrassing. I mean, I'm a Zionsville guy. I live there. I love this town. I'm lucky to live there. And it's just from the spending on the baseless lawsuits to the accounting software that doesn't work to getting scammed with the skating rink bill. Can all this, at this point, I don't know who I'm voting for yet, Jane, but I know I want the nonsense to stop.
Absolutely. And I believe that that's the way our town feels as well, is that the division in our town, it's not reflective of who Zionsville is. And we're at a point in time where we need to come back together. We need a mayor with strong leadership skills and experience to come in, like myself, to bring us back together where there's trust and transparency, collaboration and cooperation, where the mayor and town council work well together, where there's trust between the mayor and the department heads, and that the town employees feel like their jobs are secure. So we actually need to turn things around and get our ship pointed in the right direction.
Yeah. Speak with Jane Burgess, a Republican running for mayor of Zionsville. Your opponent, John Stair. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be on the show the day that he came on a couple of weeks ago, but I know he's got a lot of name recognition, was a high-profile news anchor in this city for a long, long time. Does that worry you about your chances just in terms of pure name recognition?
No, it does not. And my opponent, John Stair, does have name recognition from his years on as a news anchor, but I have over 20 years of service and leadership in our town in Zionsville. So I have a lot of experience serving on boards for Lions Club, Hussey Mayfield Library Foundation, Boone County Habitat for Humanity. I serve on session as an elder at my church, Zionsville Presbyterian Church. So over the past 20 years, I've been deeply invested in our community and making a difference, leading, and being a part of it. And also, I was serving on the Zionsville School Board for 12 years, was elected 3 times. So I've spent a lot of time very much giving back to our community that I love so much.
So, Jane, take me through what would happen if you are elected the mayor of Zionsville. You win the primary, you win the general, bada bing, bada boom. You're in the hot seat here. Take me through the first 100 days. What do you want to do?
So first and foremost, in the first 100 days, it will be, I pledge to deliver ethical and accountability to the leaders, to the people of our town. Sorry about that. I want to rebuild and restore trust that's critical for my vision to be successful in Zionsville. So I've got to reestablish confidence and faith in our town's governance. And in the first 90 days, I want an audit of our finances and internal controls, because my first and most important priority, guys, is that we've got to get our financial house back in order. We need to hire a professional audit firm to conduct an independent audit of our town's finances, and I'll work with the State Board of Accounts to make sure we can get clean audits, with John Sauter from Standard & Poor's, so that we can certainly restore our bond rating, which was unfortunately damaged by some of the occurrences that have happened over the past 3 years. So it will be important to incorporate new rules and regulations that outline consequences of misappropriation, so that Zionsville residents and the town council have mechanisms for enforcement should this happen in future administrations, what we've experienced over the past few years.
Is there one or two major differences that you can set yourself apart from your opponent?
Probably the biggest 2 words that I can say that separate the two of us are experience and leadership. As I mentioned to you both before, I've spent the past over 2 decades being very invested in our community, serving in an elected position for 12 years. And it was Zionsville Schools is the largest fiduciary and economic engine of Zionsville, with a budget of $96 million and 1,300 employees. So by comparison, my opponent has been president of the park board with over $2 million budget and 14 employees. So there's a difference in, what we've had some leadership opportunities to do. And the other thing I think that probably defines us as well is I've spent literally the past over 16 months attending town council meetings, meeting with town council members, state officials, county officials, and really other mayors of surrounding suburban cities, so that I could really learn the important role of what you do as a mayor from their lessons learned and things that they have found to help them to be successful. So I think that's another very defining difference between us.
Jane Burgess, Republican running for mayor of Zionsville. Where can people find out more information if indeed they live in the town of Zionsville and want to know more about you?
So you can reach my website at www.janeforzvillemayor.com.
And Jane, can you confirm before we let you go that if you do win, you will not call people the F word on social media and not badmouth them in public, taking away every last bit of their dignity? Can you make that promise on our program?
I promise. I'm pledging to you on the air that I will always represent Zionsville with civility, professionalism, and restore the honor that our wonderful town deserves.
All right, Jane, thank you. Best of luck.
Hey, thank you so much, guys.
All right, coming up next, we've got Daisy from the Chicks on the Right. She's got some strong thoughts on what's happening with women's sports, specifically Riley Gaines and how she was assaulted last week in California. We'll get to that coming up right after the news.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He recorded it. 70 degrees with clear skies downtown. Nothing under radar. It'll likely stay that way this week. Low of 44 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:30. Police are saying the person behind a shooting at a bank in Louisville this morning live streamed it.
Unfortunately, that's tragic to know that incident was out there and captured. We're hopeful that we can have that incident removed.
That's according to Louisville Police Chief Jacqueline Gwen Villarreal. At least 4 people have died in the shooting, 9 were hurt, and the shooter is also dead. President Joe Biden is trying to figure out how U.S. intelligence documents on Russia's war in Ukraine leaked online.
He was first briefed late last week when we all got word that there were some documents out there, and he has stayed briefed and in contact with national security officials.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby. He says the Justice Department is looking into it. 5 people were arrested after a drug bust in Vigo County last Friday. Police say they found guns, LSD, 41 pounds of weed, 2 pounds of what officers say were magic mushrooms, and over 2 pounds of meth. They also found more than $200,000 in cash. The 5 suspects all face charges related to drug possession and drug dealing. Listeria contamination is the reason Revolutionary Farms lettuce from Michigan is being recalled. Chris Davis reports some of it was sold in Indiana.
The sell-by date is Wednesday, April 5th. If you have the green, sweet, crisp lettuce from Revolutionary Farms that was grown in Caledonia, Michigan, you need to throw it away. Get rid of it. Listeria can really mess you up. It can cause high fever, vomiting, diarrhea, and could be even worse for children, maybe even fatal. If you have it, you might want to cut your losses and forget about making any salads with that. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Republican candidate for Indianapolis Mayor Abdul Hakim Shabazz says he has a plan to fight crime in Indy.
Because there's a difference between people we're mad at versus people we're afraid of. People we're mad at, let's figure out some alternative form of sentencing. People we're afraid of, murderers, child molesters, they need to go to jail and go away for a while.
Shabazz also says he wants to better the roads and make streets safer. With traffic, here's Alan Green.
Thanks, Harrison. 465 eastbound at Keystone, there's a crash reported. Westbound 465, a ditch, a stalled vehicle. It's on the right shoulder. 65 southbound backs up between 21st and the North Split. And 465 northbound from 70 to 71st, look for delays there as well. This report brought to you by Drexel Interiors. Shop Drexel Interiors for carpet and get free padding. Yes, buy carpet, get free padding, only at Drexel Interiors. Visit Drexel in Carmel or on North Shadeland. Find Drexel at drexelin.com. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
For tonight, mostly clear, low temperature to 40 degrees. Tomorrow, temperature climb continues, mostly sunny with a high temperature of 68 degrees. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Ryan Morse for 93 WIBC.
And I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
The Hammer and Nigel Show. My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer right over there with a very special guest on the Drive, Hubler.com hotline.
One half of the Chicks on the Right, Daisy, joins us.
Hey.
How are you, love?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Man, we're doing real well. And when I saw this Riley Gaines situation that took place last week, we spent a lot of time talking about this on Friday. Swimmer Riley Gaines was speaking at an event at San Francisco State University and basically was assaulted by a biological man wearing a dress, hit multiple times. It was a big ordeal. And the university feels like they've done nothing wrong here. And the first person I thought of was you, because I know you have a daughter that does competitive swimming. So I'm curious as to your thoughts on the whole Riley Gaines story.
Leah Thomas was who she was competing against, right?
Right, the biological man in college.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. And he actually, I say Leah Thomas didn't do much better than her competitively. That's saying something since it's a biological male. I mean, Riley she's become this force in the movement. Like, she's become the feminist that feminists used to be, right? Fighting for women and girls. And the feminists have shown us who their true, like, what their true colors really are. Feminists no longer fight for women and girls. Feminists, what we see feminism as being is basically the face of abortion. That's all that they care about. They don't care about women and girls. And so Riley has become this amazing force. And now conservative women are the ones who are fighting for women and girls. This is what we're doing. And, we've talked about this a lot. I told my daughter the other day, I showed her what happened to Riley. And this is a terrifying thing for any parent, for moms and dads that have girls in sports, because, my daughter gets up and she practices 3 hours a day, 6 days a week. And then, not to mention the financial things that we go through. The sacrifices that we make as parents. I mean, you guys have kids in sports, and just the sacrifices that you make. And then I think, okay, she could do this for years and years and years. And then to think that a biological dude could come around and take a scholarship opportunity away from her to beat her. I have told her whole life, you can do anything that you want as long as you work hard. And then I'm sure that Riley's parents told her the same thing. And then she did that. And a biological man took an opportunity away from her. And then not only was that biological man given that opportunity, but he was applauded for it and celebrated. And she was told, sit down, shut up, take your seat, and just deal with it. And if you don't like it, then you're going to be branded as a transphobe or a bigot or just some sort of a horrible person, which is precisely what we're doing now. And this is the patriarchy. This is what we've been told all along is not the patriarchy, but this is what the actual patriarchy is, because these biological dudes are getting sponsorships, they're getting endorsements, they're getting money. I mean, this is what the Dylan Mulvaney's, this is what's happening. They're being elevated to a point where women are being excluded, we're being erased, and we've got to fight back, and we have to.
And That's one angle of this story. But the other thing that makes me completely sick is what took place this past week, where she was physically assaulted. She was punched by a man. And the things that I see on social media are people are carrying the water for this lunatic that punched a woman. Can you ever imagine a situation where somebody is going to speak on protecting women's rights? A man punches the woman and people are applauding the man.
Isn't that crazy? Like, I know I told my daughter, I was like, first of all, I mean, there's a part of me that applauds Riley because she kept her cool. I don't know what the cops were thinking. Like, I don't know what was going on with those cops because they didn't really protect her. They got her away to a room, but I mean, they didn't. No one had any charges brought against them. No one was arrested for the assault. I mean, she was assaulted. She was physically assaulted, and nothing happened to anybody. Which I'm disgusted by that. So that happened. But I told my daughter, I'm like, listen, she kept her cool. Riley kept her cool. She didn't do anything in retaliation. But I said to my daughter, I'm like, listen, if a biological man or anybody ever hits you, you freaking wail on them. Like, you just wail.
Yes.
I mean, if a dude ever hits you, you go off because first of all, you're an athlete. You know, Riley could have just demolish somebody that was hitting her because she's an NCAA athlete. I mean, she's an athlete. She's in tremendous shape, and she could have just wailed, and she didn't do it. So I give her props for not fighting back because you know what she's going to do now? She's going to sue the crap out of that school. She's going to sue the crap out of. She's going to get those people where they really hurt, and that's financially, and she's going to win in the end. And I know that, but I mean, I'm one of those people where if somebody hits me, especially if a biological man, I mean, I was so angry watching that happen. And what are we teaching our girls? We're teaching them, oh, well, if a biological dude hits you or if somebody assaults you, just take it. Like, what? We're going backwards. What is even happening?
And what's funny, Daisy, is that it's all sort of a scam to me because in the realm of swimming, college swimmers, Leah Thomas, when he was a man, was like not even in the top 500.
Oh, my God. He was like in 400, whatever.
Right.
As a dude. Yeah. I mean, he was ranked like 400 and something. I don't even know. It was like 300 or 400 and something. And then when he decided, I think I'll become a woman, then that's when he, got up in the ranks. Because men's bodies they're stronger. They're physically stronger. I don't know. Why is this even a discussion? I mean, how is this not common sense?
Right.
How is it?
Yeah. And it's not just swimming. We're focusing on swimming because we know you are vested into that sport with your daughter. But in the world of mixed martial arts, there is a dude beating the hell out of women. And basically, mixed martial arts, a biological man taking on a woman in combat sports, and surprise, surprise, he's beating the hell out of her.
Yeah, his name is, or like the transgender's name is Fallon Fox, isn't it? And this person's been around for a long time, right? Like since 2012? I believe that's the case. I think so. This person's been around for a while, and people are like, oh yeah, I mean, this is totally fine. Like what? On what planet are we? Well, we're celebrating now. We're celebrating this biological dude beating the crap out of a woman. Like what? Where am I?
Where are all these wominists, Daisy? Where are all these feminists that I've heard about my entire life, protesting and picketing and demanding equal action and equal pay? What happened?
I don't know. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And now it's the conservative. We're the ones who are speaking out. And then they're like applauding this. They're just absolutely. And then you got the Drew Barrymores who are kneeling, in front of Dylan Mulvaney. And they're getting on their. It's like there again. You got women on their knees for men. And I'm just, there you go, right there.
Oh wow!
Mm-hmm.
Daisy is with us, one half of the Chicks on the Right. You and I have a common bond in that we have ties to good old Rocky Top, Tennessee. I believe you're an alum of Tennessee, and it's been in the news lately. Not necessarily the university, but the state, because they expelled 2 lawmakers that were basically firing up the crowd, protesters in the Tennessee State House.
One of them had a bullhorn.
With bullhorns involved here. Your thoughts?
So the two guys that I've seen, what is it, Jones and Pearson, I think are their names. So I know the one dude. Listen, I'd never even heard of these guys before, and I think that speaks volumes, because now it's like all these politicians want to get their 15 minutes of fame, you know. And I know, like, the Pearson guy, he called the House toxic. He said, you know, this environment is toxic. And he'd only been there for, not even a year. And I just find it really interesting, because it's like they don't really care about protocol and decorum and any of that kind of stuff. They just want to play by their own rules. They don't want to follow any of the protocols that are there in place. And I just find that so incredibly disrespectful. But it's like these I know I sound really old and I'm shaking a rake here, and maybe that's just who I am, but it's like these young whippersnappers coming in, and they just want to play by their own. They don't want to follow any of the rules of decorum. They just want to come in and they want to be on, you know, TikTok, and they want to get like their little sound bites. And it's like, and that just annoys the crap out of me.
Well, they've always gotten their way by being pain in the asses. That's all that they've known. Right. The last couple of years in this country, they've acted out. They, being the political left, have acted out, and they've got what they wanted. I actually, and I said this Friday, I applauded the Tennessee State House.
Yeah.
Because you don't put up with that stuff and you send a message. It's actually refreshing to see Republicans have a backbone, because here in Indiana, when an angry mob marched up the street, our governor met with Malik Mohammed in a one-on-one meet and greet, and then let him go. And ultimately, now he's charged with trying to kill a cop out on the West Coast. But in Indiana, there's such gutless weenies. But out in Tennessee, man, they didn't put up with that stuff.
And I think that's great. That's exactly how it should be. It's like, you know, when we're talking about, like, political decorum and stuff like that, we need to have some rules. And it's like, I think everybody should abide by those. There needs to be some decorum, and everybody just needs to follow some manners, you know, like whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to, like, now it's like, it's almost like he's just this kid that just wants to act out and like he just wants to be cool.
And you know what? The two politicians that were expelled from the Capitol there, they're celebrities now. If this would have been the other way around, if it would have been conservatives in that chamber shouting, insurrection!
Insurrection!
Now because it's the other side, they're celebrated.
I think that Jones is probably going to be reaffirmed. I don't know about Pearson, but and then Pearson, he's very preachy. Like, he gets into this whole, like, he looks like he's preaching at a church or something. Everything is just, why is everything so dumb now?
And on that note, we will let you go. Daisy from the Chicks on the Right, chicksontheright.com. Thank you so much.
Thanks, y'all. Have a good day.
Man, after that, Nige, I could use a drink.
All right, how about Moonshine Mondays?
Oh, this is my favorite news segment.
I got enough for about 5 weeks left. So
let's
try
go.
a brand new flavor, some homegrown moonshine. That's next on the Hammer Nigel Show. Maybe you want to sell your house, but you're worried because your home needs costly repairs or upgrades. No worries. With Mark Dietl, the only real estate agent I trust to sell my house, and he guarantees your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or he's going to buy it. How about Brandy in Indianapolis? She had an investment property and needed to sell, but she was certain she had missed a boat on Top Dollar. She hired Mark Dietl, and he assured her that his team would get it done, and he was right. Had Brandy's home sold in 2 days for Top Dollar. Super easy, and Brandy's very happy.
Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold, or he'll buy it. Let that sink in for a minute. Call Mark Dietl today and ask about this amazing guarantee. He'll answer any questions that you have. 317-755-4232. That's 755-4232. Or go to markdietl.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietl.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
I don't like to walk downtown anymore. Only when I have to. Even during the day. There's so many out on the street. Aggressive. I mean, I feel terrible for them, but at the same time, I don't feel safe. Every night, there's another story on the news. Another shooting, something violent. And it's not even in one area, it's all over the city. Just the other night, there was a shooting in a church parking lot. A church. I heard that so far this year, our murder rate is higher than Chicago. Chicago! I'm proud of Indianapolis. That's just not what I think of, what I think Indianapolis should be. The only thing I can think to do differently is I have to vote differently, starting now, until it gets better. So I'm going to vote for Shreve in May. Maybe Hogsett gets the message. Or maybe we get a new mayor in November.
Paid for by Shreve for mayor.
Make your money work for you. At Busey Bank, we understand the importance of saving for the future. Our CD specials offer a competitive, secure, short-term option to help give your savings a boost. Visit Busey.com/CD rates or call 1-800-67-BUSEY today. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868.
Get a great deal on versatile Kubota equipment today, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, part of our tractor lineup rated #1 in durability and owner experience, Z Series mowers, and Sidekick utility vehicles. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Bring home select BX Series equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 72 months, plus save up to $800, now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more details.
Stop by McAllister Machinery in Fishers and Indianapolis to see their full line of Kubota, or visit them online at McAllisterKubota.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit NoTimeToWait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Drexel Interiors warehouse sale has tens of thousands in inventory, including flooring at 50 cents a square foot, cabinets, vanities, and more. Thursday through Saturday only, 3217 Shadeland Avenue.
Dog bite injury? Call Isaacs & Isaacs, the law firm Indiana has trusted for over 20 years. They'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve. Click and get help quick at WeWin.com. That's WeWin.com.
All right, Alan Green is filling in for Matt Baer, and he's got to look at the roads.
East side, 465 southbound at 70 is still a vehicle has the center lane blocked. 65 southbound is heavy between 21st and the north split. 465 northbound taps the brakes from 70 to 75th. And 465 southbound Washington to Brookville, some backups. This report brought to you by Drexel Interiors. Drexel Interiors warehouse sale has tens of thousands in inventory, including flooring at 50 cents a square foot, cabinets, vanities, and more. Thursday through Saturday only, 3217 Shadeland Avenue. I'm Alan Green. Follow us on Twitter for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
71 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
And it takes me back to a simpler place and time when we used to kick back and let the moon shine.
Hello. Moonshine Mondays here on the Hammer and Nigel show. I have somebody down in Decatur County.
You got a contact.
That makes this stuff for real. This isn't the stuff with all the added ingredients like you buy at a liquor store with the label on it. These flavors came to me in mason jars, little clear mason jars.
And these are not for sale. You cannot find this product on any store shelf.
Well, I didn't say they weren't for sale, but let's just say we got ours for free.
Okay.
And that's all I can say because I don't.
What happens on the black market stays on the black market.
So again, Decatur County backwoods in just a little shanty somewhere. They've got some distilling capabilities there, and we have the flavor of caramel moonshine.
Oh, okay.
Today.
So even though it is like made in their home, they can still put the flavors in.
Yes, we've had multiple flavors over the past few weeks, Hammer, here on Moonshine Mondays.
Boy, it smells really good.
So let's see if we can taste the caramel.
Woo! That is good. That is good. I can't say anymore, but it's really, really, really good.
I mean, literally, these clear mason jars are just labeled with the flavor, and that's it. I mean, it could be turpentine in there for all we know.
Right. This is strong, but it's got great flavor at the same time.
A little caramelly. Can you taste it a little bit?
I can. You can smell it. It smells like a Tootsie Roll almost, like some sort of piece of candy, but it tastes really good, too.
They gave me enough different mason jars with enough flavors that we got like 5 more weeks of this.
Oh, I love it.
5 more weeks of
We've had
Moonshine
some good
Mondays.
ideas and we've had some bad ideas on this show, but this is on the Mount Rushmore of great additions. Moonshine Monday.
All right, we'll be right back. It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
If you're an aspiring retiree, chances are you're looking to answer one of life's biggest questions. When can I afford to retire? And while you don't need a fortune to plan for retirement, you do need a vision. A true financial planning partner will encourage you to think about and help you determine the why, when, and where for your retirement. That's what we believe retirement is really all about. Not having to wonder what's next, but instead having the financial confidence to know your biggest concerns have been addressed, giving you the freedom to live your life with meaning and purpose. This is Brian Singer with Howard Bailey Financial. Retirement is not a time to downsize your dreams. We believe you can get whatever you want in life, but only by design. We ask aspiring retirees to stand in the future and imagine what you'd like to be true of your life in 3, 5, or 10 years, or whenever your desired timeline for retirement happens to be. Our Retire with Purpose planning process is where you become the architect of your future by starting with the end you want to achieve and reverse engineering that outcome. Retiring with purpose begins with the why rather than the how. The Brownsburg Howard Bailey team employs a planning process designed to bring your future into the present so we can help you design that future now. We want to empower you to use your money to help create the life you want to live so you can spend retirement doing whatever it is you want to do with meaning and purpose. The Retire with Purpose process is designed to prepare you for financial independence by design rather than hope or chance. If you're ready to retire with purpose and confidence, give us a call at 317-852-9153 to schedule a retirement readiness review. 317-852-9153. 317-852-9153.
Investment advisory services may be offered through Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Working with Howard Bailey Securities, LLC cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
Mom, Dad, Sis?
Here we go again.
Why are you in a suit? Picture, if you will, a world with the best network imaginable. I'm talking about the Xfinity 10G network. Go on. Mom, remember how your reality shows wouldn't load with all of us online? Now you can binge. And Susie, we'll have fast internet in the basement.
Nice.
If you have any questions, here's my card.
This is just your name on a gum wrapper.
Introducing the 10G network only from Xfinity. The future starts now. Now through April 23rd, new customers can get 200 megabit Xfinity internet during our limited time Xfinity 10G network launch celebration for just $25 a month for 2 years. Plus, there's no annual contract required and you get Wi-Fi equipment included. Go to Xfinity.com/10G, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply to internet service and devices. Actual speeds vary.
1 point, 1 swing, 1 tackle, 1 step. 1 trusted hospital system for orthopedic care. Franciscan Health's orthopedic, sports medicine, and rehabilitation teams offer state-of-the-art treatments, including total joint replacement, physical therapy, and the latest techniques and interventions for a variety of conditions, including arthritis and orthopedic sports-related injuries, keeping you in step, 1 step at a time. Find a full range of orthopedic care in one place. Go to franciscanhealth.org/orthocare.
There's nothing more important than time. Time for you and time for family. If issues like high blood pressure or high cholesterol run in your family, make time for highly skilled heart care too. At Indiana University Health, you can book a same-day appointment with the state's most preferred provider of cardiovascular care. See a top cardiologist today, then get back to what's most important without skipping a beat. Visit iuhealth.org/heart to book your appointment today.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio, brought to you by MCM CPAs and Advisors, your full-service accounting and advisory firm where people matter, leaders inspire, and excellence rules. I'm Alex Brown. Indianapolis-based courier service Pillow Logistics says it is investing $1.5 million as it opens new locations in Indy, Louisville, Evansville, Fort Wayne, and Merrillville. President Matt Straub says the company inked a contract with the Indiana State Library, which will benefit all of its clients.
It provides an anchor for us to provide next day distribution. And what we're going to be able to do is take packages from multiple clients, put these all on the same distribution routes, so I don't have 3 drivers going up into the same territory every day, reducing cost.
The company plans to double its workforce over the next year. Indianapolis-based Allison Transmission will continue to be a supplier for the U.S. Army's Joint Light Tactical Vehicle as production moves to the AM General Manufacturing Plant in Mishawaka. Allison has provided transmissions for the armored vehicle since its introduction in 2015. Indiana Landmarks has created a $20,000 scholarship aimed at educating future Black preservation leaders. The scholarship is for Black students in Indiana with a focus on majors such as history, preservation, city planning, landscape architecture, and journalism. From the #1 source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Indiana, it's time to get revved up. Inside Indiana Business is going racing. We'll be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the month of May and take you inside the